Good evening, everybody, and welcome to this special little sort of slapdash patch together sci-fi one shot. Haha, one shot. It never gets old. One shot of this Dreampunks live play here with some new friends and some old friends, and mostly, actually, now that I'm correcting myself, pretty much old friends, really, all come together to play here. We apologize that we didn't have Berry Knee of Olives up tonight. Life gets in the way sometimes. Dr. Malcolm forgot to add that addendum when he was telling us where life goes and how it finds the way. It also screws with you sometimes. So it sometimes means you have to cancel your regularly scheduled programming. But in place of that is an opportunity that I decided to selfishly seize in which to play test a homebrew that I have been working on for the past 6 months. And this is the homebrew. This is completely based on the system given to us by the RPG Death in Space, which only just recently released to the wide masses, which is now available on Drive-Thru RPG. It is, by its strictest definition, by its sort of presentation, the way it comes off, it is a grim, dark, blue collar, I would say Firefly meets just untimely, horrific death kind of flavor sci-fi in space. That's not what we're playing tonight. We're playing more of the Eric Campbell variety, which is I don't know. I'll let y'all tell me what that is. But anyway, tonight that's what we're going to be playing. Before we kick things off, a couple of quick announcements. This is our first stream since our fundraiser, which went pretty well, I'd say. I think the final total came out to about 13.9K raised over that period, which is all you guys, which is wild. Absolutely wild. The last time we did something like this, the money that you all helped us raise to support the Stream Punk supported us for 2 years. It got Clear Skies up and moving. It got pretty much every game we played just after the launch of Clear Skies was thanks to the fundraising that happened. You guys helped support artists. You guys helped us support like purchasing all the assets we needed to do all of our shows. You helped this scrappy little RPG group keep going and making good stuff. So thank you for that. And now we get another lifeline and we have big plans. Eliza and I have been conspiring on some GM stuff. We have big plans. And yes, you may have heard, for those of you who are tuning in who may have missed the announcement, yes, we teased the upcoming launch of a new chapter in the story of Clear Skies. But I can't say anything more than that. Clear Skies Frontier is in development right now. That's the only announcement that I have at the moment. And of course, we'll have more announcements coming down the pipe from on Coffee and Patreon. So stay tuned for that. Basically fulfillment of the lots of wacky stuff that we did for the fundraiser. Why don't we start before we get into the other announcements? I'd like to introduce our two guest players first. We have one B Zelda, who has returned to us. And,
am I even still a guest player at this point?
Not really. Now. No, I mean y'all are all stream punks as far as I'm concerned. We all know that.
Stream punks are bored.
When does the title guest go away?
Yeah.
I like
and then we have Moslin Bruder, who is joining us tonight, which I'm very happy that this has finally happened.
I can't believe it.
Yeah, it's been a long road getting from there to here.
It's been a couple years, maybe for something like that, a little while.
I destroyed Sam.
We're gone.
No, it's my fault. I did that. That's those are welcome to our players tonight. Does anybody have any announcements or any projects that they are doing that they would like to inform the audience about before we jump into tonight's RPG session?
I do.
Okay, what's up, Eliza?
Am I still muted? Okay. Me and Bonnie are in a musical together.
Oh, right.
It's called Teaching a Robot to Love. It is by our beloved Laser Melina Weber and E. Aaron Wilson. They are brilliant. And it is so good. And it's such a gift to get to play in this role and in this show with all these amazing people. So if you go to doubleclicks.com/Tartle Musical, so TARTL Musical, then you will find that you don't have to be in LA for this musical. You can buy a virtual streaming ticket and you will see it streamed live. I'm pretty sure it's not like, oh, you get to come watch a recording of it. No, it's going to be live streamed that day for the ticket you purchased. How cool is that? What? Okay. So that's my pitch. Check it out. I'm making sure that the link I gave you is actually the correct one. Tartle Musical. Is that right? No, that's not right.
No.
I think it's just Tartle then. No. Okay, sorry. I will tweet it after this. I'll tweet
It's okay.
Yeah. But search Double Clicks and Robot Musical and you'll find it.
Sweet. All right. Does anybody else have any announcements or anything they'd like to announce this evening?
I do.
Yes, Caitlin.
Hello. You can find me over on the Rule of Lore channel, twitch.tv/Rule of Lore, Wednesday nights for our, we're in our final season of our sci-fi spacefaring superhero cipher system game. Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific. Time zones are so easy for me. And then also with me and Sam and V, you can catch us Sundays on this very channel for Power Play, which is also in its final season.
God.
So it's your fault.
Not ready.
I'm glad y'all are getting I'm glad y'all are not being emotionally tested in your RPG sessions this time around.
It's all great. No. I'm doing awesome. I don't know about you guys. Running out of games.
Yes, well, that does kind of coincide with tonight's themes, considering this is basically grimdark space survival, but not because it's the Eric version. And that being said, let's go ahead and start tonight's game session.
Excuse you? No, absolutely not. Not even slightly. I have announcements and I'm important too.
I'm going to count this rant as our intro, since we don't have one tonight.
All right. And we're up.
So we could just loop Sam getting really angry at me and just put like starring underneath it. Yeah.
It's just that my Sundays mushed into my Mondays and I need to say that I'm excited about it or I'm actually going to explode. I will legitimately outward and then the gush will get all over the camera and it will be very cinematic and it will be very much in keeping with death in space. But you kept saying that it was Eric Campbell death in space, which I don't know. Maybe it's taking a nap in space. Maybe it's death in the ocean, but with bioluminescence. I don't know yet. I was going to find out, and I was going to say that I'm excited, but I don't know if we're just going to hop right in.
I love you, Sam. I love you so much.
I love you with all of my love. I'm so happy to have y'all here. I'm so hyped for this. It's gonna be great. Let's go.
Yeah. So a quick backstory for the audience as we start this game tonight. This game, as I said, is a homebrew. It is a setting that I have been working on, a setting that plugs directly into the Death in Space rule set. I'm still fiddling with it, and I have been looking for time to play test this with people. I have never gotten that time, and so I decided to selfishly seize our Monday night to live play test this in front of everybody. The curious thing about our session tonight, though, that is a little unique from the typical one-shots is my players know absolutely not a goddamn thing. They were given the barest of bones character sheets that don't even have character names on them. They have nothing but the base level of what the character sheet represents. And none of my players, to my knowledge, have ever played this game or know how to play it. So when I say I am throwing them into the void, I'm not kidding. Tonight, we're kicking this game off in a very peculiar way, in that our players are going to be just as lost as their characters, with that sort of jostling sensation, as you might imagine, of being shocked and kind of left mindless for a moment. That sort of what the hell's going on, that brief moment when, say, you wake up and for a brief second, maybe you're exhausted, like Jake is right now in New York, and you haven't slept long enough, and then you wake up, and in those precious, rather confusing few seconds after you just wake up, you've forgotten where you are, or you think you're somewhere else, and it takes you maybe a second or two to be like, oh, no, okay, yeah, I'm at Comic-Con, or whatever the hell, wherever you are, where you're like, wait, what was I doing? If you can try to imagine, that is going to be the state in which our characters are going to regain consciousness this evening. I'm going to roll a die, and I'm going to find out 2, 3, 4. I have 5 players. I love it because I'm using my my new video game dice, and I rolled a 1, which is game over on the die.
Oh, good.
Well, that's a speed run.
One shot, death in space. We got it. Okay.
Done and done. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. Caitlin, it's fitting that you're the first person to wake up. We've never gamed together, and so here we go.
I'm excited. Hi, Eric.
Hi. The first thing you become aware of is the beautiful multicolored rainbow display of blurry lights in your field of vision. You're looking through what you can only imagine must be wet eyes or eyelashes that are just still clinging together after a long sleep. It's that same fuzzy vision of you just waking up for a moment, except for there is a dull pounding in the back of your head. Those are the two sensations you're aware of first. The next sensation is that it feels as though maybe you can't feel your body. But that is enough to spur just a brief moment of instinctual alarm and panic that causes you to sort of squeeze your eyes instinctively for a moment and try to get a feel of your surroundings, instantly testing your nerves as you stretch out your muscles and kind of jolt. That's when you realize that it's not that you couldn't feel your body. You can actually feel it quite fine. You are floating. There is no gravity where you are right now. And as your clothes, your suit begins to pull across your skin, you begin to realize you're suspended in what looks like a cabin of some kind. It's dark, and those rainbow colored lights you saw were the control panels that are about maybe 15 feet in front of you. Someone is strapped into what looks like a seat. Before them, you can see a star field that is gently spinning. Gently spinning. It looks like you're in a list of some kind. You might be spinning to port, it looks like. There is no markers or land masses in front of you, just the stars. The next few moments are you trying to get your bearings as to who else is in here with you. You do notice that there is at least 4 other people that are in this place. No. Looks like maybe 5 or 6, actually. It looks like there's a connected tunnel that leads into this. It must be the flight deck. There are 4 empty chairs and a 5th chair that looks like kind of rises above, maybe like a captain's chair almost, or a control chair of some kind. The bridge is crowded. It's not spacious. It's not like a Star Trek bridge. It's not a big, expansive space. It is, in fact, filled with chairs that have safety straps and bulky, luminescent computer consoles with flickering holographic displays that are struggling to regain their power. What's unique about some of the people that you see is they either are dead or are as unconscious as you were. But there are certainly little dark globes of what look like glossy, glistening liquids floating through the atmosphere here around you. And they seem to ominously orbit some of the people that are sleeping. And at about that point, something stings the tip of your nose that causes you to immediately, as you're trying to gauge all of this, because you recoil and you see the distinctive smoking form of a small bullet shell just drift right past your face. Some of these people have things in common. They look like they are of a mixture of clothing, but definitely sort of a work style clothing, leather jackets, but not for style. It looks like this is meant to keep warm. It looks like gloves and whatnot. It looks like the workwear that they're in look like some kind of like makeshift work suits, maybe specifically designed for work in space, perhaps. But what's curious is about some of them is they have what looks like red bands tied around their biceps over these patchwork jackets that they're wearing. The people that are in this flight deck with you do not have those red bands. There's 2 of these people that you can see, and one of them looks like they have grabbed hold of one of these other people, one of these people that are near you, and were locked together with them. Both of them look like they are sleeping soundly and spinning gently in the 0G. That is how your whole world starts. You realize suddenly you have no idea who you are. You have no idea what has happened. But you do remember a few things. You know this is a flight deck. obviously you're in space. There are things around you that feel familiar. There's not this alarm of, oh my God, I just woke up in a spaceship. What the hell? I was sleeping in my bed a few minutes ago. It's more of just like, okay, this all makes sense. But why does it make sense?
Makes sense. Yeah.
That you don't know.
Okay.
That is agonizingly buried somewhere, supposedly in your memory. And that is where we begin.
Can I reach anything? Like, is there any like a wall or something that's bolted down?
You can make the attempt. So take a D20.
Okay.
All right. So, funny thing is, the rules in this game specifically state that any kind of movement that you try to make in 0G is done at disadvantage. So you're going to be
Cool.
making, yeah. So
Is that a roll
you're gonna
twice or a minus?
It's roll twice
Okay.
and pick the lowest of the roll. This is
Okay.
actually going to be a dex roll.
Okay. Oh,
And
I'm already
here's
very
how-
bad at that.
Yeah. I mean, so here's how this works, because you're looking at your stats right now going, oh, crap. Get ready, because I'm about to explain the baseline of the entire game from all of you. Anytime I call for a roll, you're rolling a D20 plus your relevant ability. Even if it's a 0 or a minus,
Mhm.
you want equal to or greater than 12 on every roll in order to succeed. That is the
Okay.
baseline.
Cool. Okay.
So roll a D20.
I have a negative
add
2
or
to
subtract your
dexterity
dex.
for everybody.
Okay, so minus 2.
Where you failed. That's a 5 and a 13. So
A
3.
5.
3.
3. Indeed. Okay. So gain a point of void.
Okay. Okay.
Mark that down on your character sheet. So you flail.
Yeah, I do.
Unfortunately, where you are located right now on this flight deck, you are at the exact point where it is impossible to reach anything. And your
Right in the
momentum really is just a mild spin. You have no way, you have absolutely no way of like reaching out and grabbing something. You are, for lack of a better way of describing it, completely helpless right now.
Great. Love it. Love that. Do any of so all of the individuals, none of them seem familiar in any way to me? Like they're just people?
Good question.
Because I had a sense of being at least familiar with being in space. That
Yes.
wasn't jarring. But do any of the uniforms seem like something that like that feels right, that feels wrong?
Yes,
Or
let
anything
me
like
look
that?
at the character sheets, because there are 2 versions of your character sheets. There was ones with all the information written down, and then the ones that I gave you.
Ooh. I love this.
Yes. The person who is strapped in with their head kind of listing to the side peacefully as they are asleep, you notice something unique about them. They have what looks like half of a NASA patch sewn onto their uniform. And for some reason, that seems familiar to you. It looks like an old, and I mean old, antique NASA patch that has been crudely sewed in.
Can I take stock of myself? Like, what do I have going
You
on?
immediately look down. You have what looks like the other
Other
half of
half.
that NASA patch sewed
Okay.
into your jacket. It looks like it was cleanly split in 2. And
Okay.
one side was sewn onto your jacket, and the other side was apparently sewn onto the jacket this person is wearing.
I did try to pull the NASA patch off of a hat I have, but it is built into the hat, so that didn't happen. But I tried, Eric.
Sorry, NASA. We tried
Sorry,
to destroy your merch,
I tried.
NASA, but we tried.
Okay.
Sponsor us,
Okay.
NASA.
All right. That person is eyeballing that. I can't move right now, but I am. Can I like? Hey, hello. Hello, and she's trying to like swim, not making any progress.
Mhm.
Hey, psst, like trying to move forward badly.
They are not waking up. Yeah.
Okay.
When you checked your person,
Mhm.
you did note that you have what looks like there's a pack on you.
Okay.
You have, as you check the inside of your pockets, it looks like this silver pack that is vacuum sealed that
Mhm.
is strapped into the inside of your jacket. There's also what looks like a utility knife that is clipped onto your belt. And on that same belt look like 5 military grade light sticks.
Ooh,
In case the
nice.
lights ever go out, you can just like crack them.
Sick. Okay. Can I take one of the light sticks?
Mm-hmm.
I want to try to throw it, gently let the zero. I want to try to hit the person that I recognize, like just like on the whatever's visible. I just some stimulus since I can't go anywhere.
Okay.
Somebody wake up, please.
It
Somebody
just
wake up.
flips gracefully through the air end over end until it gently just brushes against the side of the person's face who's strapped in. That person immediately, their eyes open. Sam, it's not a blurry. It doesn't feel blurry. It doesn't feel like sensory overload or like that sort of sleepy feeling of you waking up. Your eyes snap open. And as described, you are strapped into what looks like what you see in front of you is a dual like grip, looks like flight controls. The computer is completely offline. You can see some blinking in front of you. It's familiar, but you don't fully understand what you're seeing just yet. You see what looks like an unsnapped light stick drifting through the air in front of you and clinking off of the window. And that's when you notice that the port list that's taking place in front of you, the gentle spin of the star field. You have no idea who you are. Nothing is coming to you. Absolutely nothing. There is a vague sense of urgency, but you can't place why. And at this point, you become aware of movement and like, hey, hey, hey. Now, as the two of you make eye contact, I'd like you here on the spot with no preconceived notions of who your characters are. Tell me who you think they are. Tell me what you think they look like.
Would you
Who
like
would
to
like to go
start or
first?
should I?
Go for it. Go for it.
Okay, cool, great. Let's see. They have 2 French braids over the top of their head that merges into one long braid. It might usually go down their back, but I think right now, since they're strapped into something, there's something against their back. It's over the shoulder right now. Heavy, dark brown braid. They are a little pale with a little, maybe almost, it's hard to tell in the light, maybe a little yellow to their skin. Like they really should have gotten sun, and instructions were unclear. They didn't. And they are noticeably also not jacked. I know it seems like treason. It seems like the treason of the season, but no, they're not. In fact, all of the Yiddish mamas want to just put matzo ball soup into this lanky creature, who perhaps gravity just forgot about, and they string beamed a bit too much. That's the person you're looking at, Caitlin.
All right. Then you are looking at probably short, small, not necessarily like built, but like I don't think she's very slim. I think she's just like short, kind of like someone who maybe has done, I don't know, some type of work, but not like working out kind of a thing, like has done manual labor.
Compact.
That's
Often
the word. That's what I'm
described.
looking for. Yeah. I think she's also relatively pale, kind of like maybe a dirty blonde, kind of frizzy, not really curly, but just like kind of frizzier hair, maybe a little unkempt. That's maybe was pulled back at one point and is since whatever happened has kind of fallen out, or maybe that's just how she wore it. I don't think she would know either. And then she's got the flight jacket, the like worn flight jacket with the half of the NASA patch on it, and a pair of glasses that I think she keeps having to like push back onto her face as they like lift off occasionally.
Oh, interesting. So you don't have like glasses goggles.
I'm gonna say no.
It says
What a
something one
poorly
way or the
struck
other,
Yeah,
so I like it.
Mhm. I would say maybe unexpected 0G. We'll go with that.
Very possible.
Mhm.
I
All right.
look at you and I want to like just grab at the light stick, see if I can grab the uncracked light stick.
You snatch it right out of the air. Now, I will say this, Sam. Whoever she is, she invokes a sense of familiarity. You do not know her name, and you don't recall have ever seeing her face before in your life. But then, what is your life? You don't remember anything up until this moment.
Do I have any emotional metadata attached to her, like protect or mildly like sibling irritate? Do I have any of vibe?
Yeah, I wouldn't get that specific with it. I would boil it down to its absolute base. They are someone that invokes a sense of safety.
Understood.
I can't like if they put out their arm, I couldn't reach them. I'm too far away. Like this was it seemed like I could not touch anything.
It's possible if that they leaned in their seat and reached out to you, they might be able to grab at you. Yeah.
I think she's gonna be like, "Hi, hello, sorry, I can't. I'm stuck." And she's like, and like still listing, trying to like reach out. Would you just could you please help 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 help?
Can I get it just on the lean?
Yeah. I would say just leaning out.
Oh my gosh,
Your
imagine.
fingertips kind of like clawed each other for a second to try to get that grip until you finally grip it, and you just gently pull her over right
Would
up
like
to
to
the
grab
co-pilot
onto
seat.
a seat or just
Mhm.
I stop
You
you,
managed to grab
with
onto
a
the
hand
seat.
into the sternum.
yeah.
Just
You are
Hi.
now seated.
This might be a weird question. Do you know who I am? Okay, cool.
do I have the same vibes of anyone looking around?
There are a few people here that invoke a sense of familiarity. It's only familiarity. There's no emotion attached to it. You're trying to place how you know them, but you know them. You don't think you know the people that look like are also in the room, but I it doesn't take a lot to start causing a mild sense of anxiety start to build in both of you, because from this angle looking back, a story starts to get painted. What you all notice is that there are at least 3 individuals in here with these red armbands, and it looks like at least one of them is in the hatchway that was leading into the flight deck. Everybody that invokes a sense of familiarity with you, they're on the flight deck, and one of them looks like they're locked together unconscious with one of these people. It's already starting to sort of paint a picture that something very bad was happening.
I'll take my hand off of your chest where I stopped you, grab the light stick back out of the air and put it into your hand, grip my hand around yours with it,
Thanks.
and look to the non-red band people,
Mhm.
and then look to the panels.
The panels are all blinking, but it looks like main power is offline. It's hard to tell that if the power is struggling to come back on, or if emergency power is simply keeping the flight deck lit. One thing
Okay.
you're able to immediately deduce, though, is that it is so dark in here. You are nowhere near a star or any kind of singular light source, which immediately your brain starts to go into, we must be in transit or in deep space, which invokes the question, how the hell would I know that?
Can I start to adjust and move you towards some of our the non-red banded folk.
Yeah, I think she'll kind of like, okay.
Because I'm
And
an
we'll-
anchor point right now. and
Yeah, you
I
stay.
want to be that for you.
We don't want to lose.
As you begin to shift a little bit,
Mhm.
Sam, you begin to feel something kind of poking into your ribs on the right side in your jacket pocket. Something metal is kind of just, it's not painful.
Okay.
It just feels like you have something in your pocket kind of digging into you. But you
So I'll
also
send
notice
her
that
off
you
with one hand, and if I
Okay.
can look at it.
Yeah.
Or at
So when
least
you open
pat
up your
it.
jacket, you notice that you also, not aware that she has discovered this, but you also find what looks like a chrome colored vacuum sealed pack of some kind. You see, you also have a utility knife on your belt. You also have light sticks. Maybe this is standard issue, but it looks like they're around your belt. But there's a small disc. It looks like not like clean, not like not sleek looking. It looks like it has hills and valleys, as it were. It looks kind of bulky. This little metal disc with, it looks like a very single depression at the very bottom for maybe a thumbprint. I'd say it's about this big total.
Do I get a vibe off of it?
You're
No
not sure what
memories,
it
just
is.
vibes.
Yeah, you're not sure. That should be the name of the name of the episode. You know it's not dangerous, but you're not sure what it is.
I'm gonna keep my hand
Okay.
on Frizzy, and I'll take the disc out of my pocket with the other hand and try to touch ID in the depression.
Okay. You flip it over, and Caitlin, you start to drift across the flight deck. Sam, you put your thumb down, and you see some kind of light generation spit out the bottom of it and hold in place. So it looks like you may have this thing either upside down, or it's meant to be some kind of flashlight. But quick flipping it over, and you kind of are taken aback. It is a hologram that is playing in a loop. You see what looks like, with enough tech that actually you can see some coloration. You see what looks like maybe a 1 to 2 year old Papillon that's up on its hind legs and spinning, and then it drops back down and looks at you, and then it repeats over and over, cocking its head to the side, and then up, spins around on its hind legs, and it repeats like it's in a loop. And it immediately invokes a sense of familiarity, like you know this animal.
Oh. I'm not even thinking in that moment, just from the slam to the gut of emotion. I let Frizzy's hand go
Mm-hmm.
to drift toward LA.
Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, and then I realize I don't know the name of this creature, don't I?
You have no idea. But judging from the condition of the disc that you're holding, it looks like you've pressed that button many, 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 many times.
Oh.
It is worn down, and like, while there's a little bit of like smudging all over the rest of the disc, there is none where the thumbprint is.
That actually tells me everything I need to know. I have something to go forward to.
Caitlin, you gently drift into the body of one of these people that's tangled up with one of the people with the red armband, and bumping into them is enough to jostle you awake, Adriana. There's just kind of this, as you start awake, it's gone. Whatever it was, there was a fleeting moment where you felt like you were doing something, but instantly gone, like forgetting your dream the moment you wake up. You just kind of glance in front of you and you see the partially open eyes of what is clearly a dead man who's gripping your shoulders. The next thing you notice is your hand aches from how tightly you're squeezing the gun that you've buried into this guy's sternum. The heat that's emanating from the hammer would indicate you've popped the shot off. In fact, for a second, as it all starts coming together, you immediately realize that you have killed this person that is currently trying to grab hold of you. Caitlin, at the moment you wake this person up, you see her just kind of jostle for a second, and then she has the same realization that you do. And those dark, bubbly those spheres that are drifting all over the cabin are a lot of blood that is coming out the back of this man.
Good morning.
Hi. Did I do this? I obviously. Oh my god. What is happening here?
Yeah, that's what I want to know too. And clearly you also don't know things.
Where are we?
Unclear. Space? And I gesture at the front windows.
It doesn't shock you, Adriana. That seems like, yeah, that's where it should be. But
right.
You don't know why you would know that. This woman that's talking to you feels familiar. The person that is completely enraptured with what looks like a dog hologram in the cockpit and the pilot in the pilot seat also seems familiar. There is this startling sense of urgency, and it bleeds away for a second and gives way to the fact that you have no idea what your name is, what you're doing here, what's happened. And almost like the universe is just poking fun at you, there is the gentle, almost chiming clink of a bullet shell bouncing off the top of the flight deck about a meter away from a single shot being fired.
Okay. All right. What happened here? Who are you?
Both unclear.
Who are they?
Also unclear.
Who the hell was this guy?
Even less.
Okay.
Are you good? Are you like hurt?
I don't know. Is any of this mine? Is any of this my blood? I don't know. I can't.
As you kind of check yourself, you end up kind of jostling him free. You realize you're holding a gun. It looks like a sidearm. You're glancing down at yourself. You do notice that you have what looks like a holster that is at your side that is empty right now. You also notice your dress, but the guy, as you push him away, you immediately become aware of an aching sensation in your jaw. And like your arms are this guy was gripping you pretty tightly when he died. And it takes a few moments to push him away. But as he does, he, in a very haunting fashion, drifts, colliding with some of those globules that are just floating into the air.
Right. And is she going to, are they going to know just innately how to put the safety on or handle this weapon at all?
The gun, that sidearm that you're holding, feels as familiar to you as the people that you are noticing right now.
Okay. Well, then she's going to be glancing around and just offhandedly, not even thinking about it, like puts the safety on and like back in the holster.
Yeah, at this point, that's when you're going to realize whatever your description is. The one thing I will give you is that on top of finding very similar items on yourself that everyone else has found, you also have multiple clips that go into this sidearm. But you're also wearing light armor. Looks like you're wearing padded armor across your chest, and it looks like tactical gear across your arms and legs.
Oh, cool.
But it's very light fitting. And as you glance down at it, you can see already, you're there's this moment of like, am I okay? Because you notice your clothes are torn a little bit. You look down and it looks like for a second, you and Caitlin noticing at the exact same moment, kind of look down and then look up at each other. She has what looks like a broken knife blade that's been jammed right into her ribs. You can't tell if it's penetrated or not, but there is clearly a shard of metal that has been stabbed into that light armor and is snapped off.
Do I recognize that handle?
No, there's no handle. It's just the
Just the
blade. It's just like the snapped part of the blade.
Okay.
So an incredible amount of force to break a knife blade at this kind of range, but there it is in
Does
your
that-
body armor.
Does that hurt?
Your ribs do hurt.
Oh,
You don't know if you're stabbed or not.
Oh, great.
you're not supposed to take it out, probably, right? Just if it's not bleeding, that's good for
Keep it
now.
in.
So we leave that.
I'm going to just kind of check if that was my knife. Like, do I got my knife on me?
You check the rest of your utility knife is on you still. It has not been pulled.
She unsheaths it and checks the blade, just instinctually, like.
You pull it out and you take the safety off and fold it out. It looks like this is a very well used knife blade. It looks like not only is it kept nice and sharp, but it looks like it has some of the residual. You know how when you use knives to cut boxes and eventually it just gathers adhesive on the edge to the point where it becomes annoying to pull it and put away. You've done a good job keeping this knife sharp, but not necessarily a great job of keeping it clean.
All right, that's not mine then. She just sheaths it and. So, did that pierce the armor? She points to Caitlin's character.
What?
That the blade in your side. Do you feel that?
No, it's in your
It's
side,
yours.
Adriana.
Oh, it's in mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although what's brilliant is you
Really
can attribute that to shock for a second.
Yeah.
As you're like,
Okay,
All right,
maybe.
great. All right.
It's
I
it.
would say
You're the
sit
one wearing
down,
armor,
but
and yeah.
I was
Yeah.
so curious, like why they were so chill about this being in their wrist. I was like,
Ditto, man.
It's like that great moment in Friends where he falls over on the ground and goes, "Whoa, whoa, whoa! Are you okay?"
oh,
Yeah,
God. Yo, okay, so yeah, she's just gonna like look down and like checks the blade. It's not hers.
not
I'm going
yours.
to slowly, look around, make sure nobody, like the only people who are conscious and moving around are those two. So she's gonna just slowly start like taking off that light armor and checking to see if it pierced.
Instinctively knowing exactly. First of all, it looks like this light armor is. It looks. Caitlin, observing her unclasp it, it seems like she knows what she's doing. It does not look like this doesn't look like you just put it over your head and strap it on. It looks like this is specifically probably designed, maybe even built for her. It's hard to say, but it like she reaches down and unclasps things. You're like, oh, there's a snap there. I had no idea. In other words, she looks like she knows what she's doing. Adriana, you don't know how you know this, but again, you're just kind of clipping through. You know exactly where your hands need to go to unclasp it. As you kind of lift it up, you feel a little bit of a pain, but as you look down at your ribs and touch yourself, there's no blood. It doesn't look like it's pierced you. It looks like the armor stopped it, but ow.
Okay. All right.
I'll take that win, I guess.
I'm okay.
Good.
Is anybody else hurt? Like,
your voices are causing the other two that are in here to start to stir. Two of the people that are not strapped.
Don't make me float around and get people. I'm bad at it. I'm real bad at it.
To go ahead and just give you all the sense. Eliza B, you two begin to stir and awaken with the same jolt of where am I? Again, a lot of you notice that you have like light sticks on you, utility knives and the like. The one thing is you're all kind of looking at each other and taking stock of the situation. Eliza, you are wearing something that's a little different. You notice you're wearing sort of a light gray colored jacket as you're looking down at yourself and trying to like gather a sense of to what's going on. You notice that you're wearing some kind of jacket that depicts things on the shoulders, maybe like patches and whatnot. And you have no idea who these people are. B, it's the same situation. You have no idea who these people are.
Do
and
I
feel free
have a
to-
red band on my arm?
You do not. Nope.
No,
you do not.
okay. Those red banded folks are still unconscious, though. Or
Unconscious. It's yeah, it's hard to say.
Um,
And at this point, you may all describe yourselves to each other who have not described yourselves yet. So be Adriana, Eliza. And again, there's no wrong way to describe yourself. Feel free to just, y'all are literally being introduced to your characters as much as you are this game. So however you think your astronauts, as it were, would look. Who would like to go first?
I mean, I'll go first if nobody else talks. So you see, I love to talk. You see kind of this like long and soft-limbed, dark-skinned person with like a teeny weeny afro, studded earrings all the way up the space in their ears. I think they kind of have like a wide mouth with a lot of teeth that like you can see them grimacing. But maybe in different circumstances that might be a nice wide kind smile. Yeah, and they're like that look of like slightly hyperventilated panic when you're really trying to assess a brand new situation and you have no context to figure it out.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And
Okay.
you see a black woman with chin length rainbow colored locks, like each lock is a different color. And she is wearing wide frame glasses that do have a thing that connects them to her head. She's wearing that light gray jacket with patches. Depending on where she's facing, you would see that maybe on some of the, like on the upper arm and across the back on the jacket, in patch letters, it says Original Project Scorpius Team. And then there are all these other patches around those letters, but that's like the prominent thing that you can read on the jacket.
What's curious about that patch too is it seems to depict a scorpion amongst the stars. The scorpion itself looks like it's multicolored. It does not look like it is made to be like vicious or like on the bottom of an air, like a military jet or something like that. Instead, it looks like it's more of in fact, you do notice that looks like it's patched over what would seem to be a constellation of some kind, and it depicts a spacefaring vessel of some kind traveling through it. And it just says, yeah, as you said, Project Scorpius, original team member.
For my character, you see a shorter, stocky woman with olive skin, and she had her hair dyed blonde at some point, but the roots have grown in real deep, dark brown hair. Her eyes are also dark brown, and she's wearing this kind of half peeled off armor and like a flight suit underneath. The light armor strapped to her are a few weapons, as we described earlier. That's it.
Okay. You all regard each other.
Am I just dreaming? What the fuck is this?
Unclear.
Cool. I feel completely confident about that. Oh, gosh. Okay, no. Bad start. I'm sorry. Hi. Nice to meet you. My name is... Does somebody know my name?
Oh, that was my question too. Damn it.
My character's gonna like kind of peer at their outfit and see if there's like a name tag.
No, there's no crew names, unless. Actually, you know what? Let me revise that. You tell me if there's a crew name, and if there is, do tell me what is it. Oh yeah, that's how you grind a game to a halt. Hey,
Oh, yeah.
name your
I
player.
thought that was
name your
for
character right now.
specifically Gunner.
Oh.
Whoever wants to have a crew name patch on may, if they feel like they have a mission patch with their crew name on it, you may, and then you just have to tell us what's your name or what's the name on the patch.
Oh, okay. I mean, excuse me while I Google items that you would find in a toolbox. I think that's the vibe that I want to choose for my name.
Nice.
Okay. Too bad I don't know what most of these are.
It would just be funny if one of y'all was like a Star Wars fan. You're like, I guess my name's Chewbacca.
Oh my god.
I think
that's-
Han Solo feels right for some reason.
For some reason, I don't know why.
Han Solo.
What was that? Calvin Klein. Oh yeah, back to
Yes,
Have my
back to future
number
reference.
embroidered on mine.
Circle gets the square.
Oh my god.
I guess my
Uh,
character. Oh, you got it?
dang. All right.
Doing it.
I'll make it easy on myself, even though I've had the name generators open since we started this session,
Yeah.
just in case.
Fire away.
But since we have the choice, I'll say there are very evenly spaced little tiny holes in the jacket, in their jacket, up near the chest, and there is a like 3/4 inch by 2 inch darker spot on the jacket than everything around it. Maybe a patch is missing and floating around somewhere, but it is not on their jacket.
Okay.
I have a tablet computer. Could I turn that on? I think it's like. Go ahead.
Yeah, you pull out. So first of all, the tablet computer looks quite snazzy. As you withdraw it, it's not. It's the kind of computer that looks like it has a minimal surface area and uses holographic projection and a hard light to interact with, very much like New Trek does. As you pull it up and look at this thing, it does look like it's a little more advanced than some of the tech that's around you, but it's yours. And as you try to activate it, you see immediately that it says low charge on.
No. Does anybody know where there's a charging port in here? They look meaningfully at everybody, like clearly somebody has to know.
I look up
The only
to
one
the
sitting at a
lights. I
console.
look over to the panel that's blinking.
There could
And I
be
look
some on
back.
the panel. The panels do have lights where you are, Sam. But you don't immediately see a place to plug something in. At least not looking, but maybe.
There's no power. It's as much to indicate the blinky lights of doom and the lights not being on as anything else. Braden over here has gotten the impression that the power is out and restoring that would be requisite. So they, by gaze, attempt to signal.
That looks like something. Yes. I want to like whoosh my momentum myself over to that panel. Catch on so I don't smack into something.
Okay.
Thanks. I think and I'm gonna look at that tablet again, and I'm gonna find like your user, like your main profile. Like I'm imagining like a Windows UI, but the hologram version,
It's also a window, but different.
I mean, yes, yeah. And like there's a little avatar of my face with like the little afro, and it has the name Nail written underneath it. I'm Nail.
Writing it down.
Nice to meet you. I'm gonna touch some buttons over here.
Okay. The control panel feels familiar enough to you, but nothing responds as you tap buttons.
Nothing?
It doesn't look like any inputs are being read by the computer.
We go to the source. Where does this plug in?
The rainbow locked woman has been just looking and listening, getting her bearings, and she looks over at a wall panel and says, maybe behind one of those? And I'd like to try to momentum myself towards a wall panel.
Easy
One that
enough.
looks like
You
it
move over
can be
to
removed.
Yeah, it's easy enough. There's a wall panel that as you move over to, you realize it looks like it's an automatic panel. So as you press your hand against it, nothing happens, and you kind of have to get your nails underneath it for a second. Easy enough. It pops out, just goes and slides aside, so it doesn't float loose. You see what look like a bunch of conduits and a small computer console that says "System ready."
Do I feel like I know what these things do and how to work them?
You know that it does feel familiar, but you know it would seem to you that you know enough about whatever it is you're seeing that system ready is not actually an encouraging thing to see. It looks like the whole system has been shut down or restart or something.
Yeah, like a
So
heart.
system ready, probably to somebody who's inexperienced, they'd think, oh, it's ready to be turned on. But what it really means is it's ready for you to start it up again.
I want
It's
to
not
press.
necessarily ready to activate. It wants to be activated.
I want to press some buttons and try to make things work. And then as I'm doing that, I'm be like, I think I can get this working. By the way, I'm Zelda. Then I
Nice to
turn.
meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Make sure.
Pushing
Just
buttons.
gonna wait. Yeah, press those buttons.
Yeah, you keep getting feedback. No response.
Oh,
It
crap.
looks like there is no power being fed to the flight deck.
I think we need to go deeper to get power. I was too confident.
Braden will start to unclasp from where they are. I mean, they have a braid. What do you want?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not. They don't have a name patch, so until further notice, they're Braden. You gotta call them something. And I want to spider climb the wall toward the door. Clearly, we have aux power, but we don't have mains. So
Make
we
a
need to go
dex
look at
check.
mains.
Yeah, at disadvantage.
Sure. That's a 3 and a 15. So that's a 3.
So as you push up from the chair, gain a void point.
Sure.
As you push up from the chair, you surprise yourself with how quickly you slam into the ceiling as you kind of push up a little too. It doesn't hurt. It's just like a, but it throws you off to the point where you you reach your destination, but you are kind of fumbling through, like grabbing any surface you can and pulling yourself along. But you all can see Braden is slowly making their way towards the back paneled area and trying to get past Zelda, where there is the what looks like the open hatch or some kind of causeway where you see one of these other people with the red strap around their arm is unconscious and floating.
Zelda says to you, ouch, that looked like it hurt. You okay? To Braden. You have a name? I'm looking at your empty name patch
Name pad
area.
I first just shake my head. Then I follow your gaze down to the jacket, realize the absence of the patch, and start to shake my head, and then start looking around. Like I'm looking for a patch floating in the air, maybe.
I look around too.
You just see what looks like a very high-tech, well-worn flight deck that feels incredibly familiar to both of you. And a scene of what looks like violence that came to an abrupt end. You don't know what the condition is for the other two people with the arm straps are, but there is a dead body in here floating freely.
We've seen the blood droplets, yes?
Yeah.
How much is in the air and how much has attached by surface tension to the walls? The diffusion could help give us a sense of time.
Yeah. So looking for that evidence, that's when you would notice, Brayden, that there are some spatter marks on the ceiling, along with what looks like a damaged panel where a bullet may have ricocheted. Whoever this dude was, you're already painting the picture. They probably tackled Adriana's character. Adriana's character pulled the gun and at point blank fired it into his chest, went right through his torso and into the panel that was behind him on the ceiling. So you can see a spatter mark where some of the liquid has just gathered. And then there are many, 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 many little droplets. However, they are not growing in number. He has long since died.
I will. Are we clasped in grav, Zelda? Like, where are the two of us blocking wise?
I'm not
blocking
sure.
wise, y'all are.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, Zelda's over by the panel, so sort of to the far left of the flight deck at this point.
Yeah.
You were using the far left wall to sort of move around, and so you and Zelda are actually quite close to each other at this point.
Yeah.
Looking forward, you can see Adriana's character has dislodged herself from this dead body and has holstered her gun.
So then I'll look to you and then look up to the damaged panel.
Mm-hmm.
And then over to Gunner. And then to your system ready panel.
You think a bullet knocked out our power? Maybe.
I didn't say anything.
Reach my
What are you
arm out
sussing?
and
It's all about
look
body
back up.
language.
Like, do you need a boost?
Yeah. Thanks.
So I'll be an anchor. I know when, like, I drive up to parking where they have a ticket and you have to take a ticket or you have to put a ticket in. I'm sure people with any kind of limbs can manage this task fairly easily, but not this guy. This guy always has to put it in park and usually has to wrap their arm around like the headrest so they can lean their whole gosh darn body over to reach and get the ticket in or out. The point being, that's the sort of like hook maneuver I would like to use to be an anchor for Zelda.
Okay. So, Zelda, as you move closer to the damaged panel, two things occur to you. The first is seeing the damage in the wall. You have a moderate sense of what may have happened here, but your eyes keep getting drawn back to the man. And as they do, you keep glancing down at the wound, and it causes a moment of hesitation, an involuntary moment where you stop and stare. You notice that Zelda's attention turns away from the damaged panel, and instead she is focused on the corpse. Zelda, what comes flooding into your mind is terminologies and analytical breakdowns of the trauma caused to the upper torso, the damage caused by the bullets, the blood flow, you don't know why, but as you're looking at this guy, you're like, trauma to the upper part of the, wait a minute, how do I know this? Am I a medic? There's a sense in your mind of like, you know exactly how to suture that wound. You know how to check for, wait a minute. You see Zelda is completely enraptured with the body. There is an immediate clicking sense of like, that's the wall panel you should be looking at. That's the wall panel you understand.
Did you know him? You know that person?
No, sorry. I think I'm the medic of the ship.
Okay,
Make a roll for me, if you would, please.
Okay.
Eliza. So you are going to roll. This is going to be, I'm going to say this is tech.
Okay.
So make a tech roll and with advantage.
Ooh, okay. First one is 3. Oh God, please be much better than that. 14 plus 2.
14 plus 2. All right. So yes, you know exactly what's happened here. You glance at Adriana, and you glance down at the shard of metal that she's pulled from her body armor, which causes you to immediately just like look at her torso for a second, and your mind begins to paint the picture. Whoever this person is lunged at Adriana and stabbed her at the exact same moment she pulled the gun and shot him to death. And it would seem to you that by the way they were found, something happened at the exact moment all of that was happening because of the condition everybody was in when they were waking up. That causes you to realize, glancing up, the gunshot at point blank range probably didn't hit anything too vital to it have knocked out power to the ship. It probably something else was in play here. Something else. There was a third moment that happened here that had to have stopped everything as it was happening. You're also able to determine the shot that Adriana's character fired off was a surgical kill shot. Like, she clearly knows what she is doing.
My character.
Okay.
Like,
I was just gonna say, I look at Adriana's character and say, "Don't move. Hold on. I'll be over there in a second."
It's fine. Don't worry. It didn't pierce or anything. Just hang out over there. I'm good. Trust me, I'm good. And like this whole time, my character has been kind of fell silent and has been observing everybody, trying to like navigate this. She's gotten very drawn into herself, and as she was like trying to figure out her armor, she noticed she did have a name patch on her jumpsuit.
What is it?
It was Arpia was her name. But as everyone was trying to figure out the panels, she put her armor back on and hid it.
Can you spell that?
Arpia.
Arpia.
My character has been because I got floated over to last, and I have. I think she's like, I'm having issues with this. So you've been like doing armor stuff, and like she's had a hand at like gripping the elbow of whatever fabric you have, and like anytime you need that arm, she'll like let go for a second, let you do, and then we'll come back and like like fully anchored herself, like, and you're like moving, she's like move for a second, and anytime she'll like grab again and just like stay next to a person who can help her maneuver, but otherwise she's just been watching, I think.
Caitlin,
so she was like attached to her mic.
Oh, go ahead.
Attached to Arpia?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You were who I was next to, so anytime you're moving,
gripping,
she just would let go and then grab you again.
After she noticed the patch, though, she got a lot more defensive and like eventually was like, hey, how about here? And then she just kind of like, can I make purchase on anything to like put her somewhere else? Or put them
and unless Caitlin wants to resist.
No,
but yes.
no.
I think it would probably be better for both of us if maybe you took a grip over there, and then
I just don't want to.
And it's just going to really push you away towards like
okay, that's fine. Yeah,
it's like you're fine. You're fine. You're gonna be fine.
Roll.
Okay.
If you would please make a tech roll with advantage.
Wow. Okay. Thanks for the advantage. That was a 1. That's a 22.
It takes a split second for you to notice where everyone's gaze is. You can see them gazing up at the panel, and immediately what comes to your mind is, oh yeah, no, I repaired that a few weeks ago. That's going to lead to the auxiliary power couplet unit. You could probably use that to activate at least temporary power fix on the bridge. How you know that, you have no idea, but it comes pouring out of your mouth.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Yeah, she says that. And she's like drifting backwards. And it's
drifting, bonking into the wall behind you.
Why didn't you say that earlier?
I didn't know earlier.
Float on over. I need, my tablet is about to die. I need to know what's happened here. I can't put any of this together.
I'm bad at this. Hold on. And she's going to try to like grab the wall, like the long way around. So she doesn't have to kick off the wall and be adrift anymore. And she'll make her way over there.
Okay.
And Zelda would like to actually counter that movement. And so Zelda, I'd like to push off the wall and try to get towards the last... I think there were 2 other banded people who were not sure what their deal is.
That's correct.
Okay, I'd like to head that way.
Okay. Yeah. In which case, you reach one of them, If you would, go ahead and make another tech check for me, please. Just standard tech check.
5 plus 7.
Okay. You immediately check the
I mean,
body.
5 plus 2 is 7.
5 plus 2. Oh, so
Yeah.
7.
7.
I thought you had 5 in
he's-
tech, and I'm like, okay, we know what you're good at now.
You check the body, and he's definitely dead. You have no idea what killed him, though. There is no gunshot wound. So you let go of that body. You move to the other one, and he looks the same as the one you just went to. Go ahead and make another tech check for me, please, to see if you can analyze this body.
Ooh, 20. So 22.
20. His death looks... There is something extraordinary about this corpse. He is also dead. However, the signs of his death he's exhibiting is not quite as subtle as the other body. You may have missed it on the first time, but also gain a void point for that previous roll. As you're checking this body, you notice a couple of things. First of all, there are what looks like jet black veins arcing like lightning all across the bottom of his neck and up into the lower part of his jawline. And his eyes have no irises or pupils. None. Like someone took an eraser and got rid of them. It's just a white ball behind eyelids on both sides. You also notice that as you've rolled him over, the expression on his face looked like he died just as he was deciding to scream in terror, but didn't quite make it. This prompts you to double check the previous body now that you know what to look for. And indeed, you find a much more subtle version of what has occurred to this other person. This body, as you pull it over and you kind of pull up sleeves, look under gloves to see if you can find similar signs of trauma, you do see these black veins like spreading all throughout the body itself. Hard to say if they're necrotic or not. It's hard to say what it is exactly. However, you reach over instinctively and pull the eyelids open and just white. No irises. No pupils.
I'd like to check the one who was shot.
The one who was shot does not exhibit any of these signs.
I'm not going to say anything yet because I don't want to freak people out. I'm just going to keep working on this.
Like we're not already freaked out.
More, exactly. I want to freak people out more.
Arpia's going to kind of shout over to Elisa's character, like, you see any more bullet holes on the other ones?
No.
With the natural 20 in your investigation check on these bodies, I will tell you right now, Zelda, as she has asked you this question, there was only a single round fired.
No bullet holes, no bullet wounds. Maybe, I think, I'm not sure why they died. I'm still working on that. And then I'll turn away and just like do more sleuthing on the bodies. Check pockets, check whatever, jackets.
And Arpia's gonna yell over to Arpia's gonna yell over to towards the cockpit, Zelda's character. Hey, your iPad, is there anything useful on that? Can you log into it yet? We're running out of time here.
Elisa, Zelda, I'm Nail.
Oh, Nail? Oh, I'm
Yes.
so sorry.
Nail.
Yeah, duh. Okay.
Zelda is their real person.
My real human name, so it trips me
Oh,
up
yeah.
a little bit.
Sorry about
Oh my
that.
God, could y'all imagine if you were like, I'm going to name myself Elisa.
Sorry,
I've decided
I'm
my
gonna
character's
name
going to be
myself
named
Caitlin.
Delev, actually.
Yeah.
I'd have
You
a
be Lev
field
and I'll
day
be
and we
Deep.
all know it.
I mean, you would. I think I'll hold up the tablet. Nothing yet.
There's nothing on it?
There's information. Hold on. Why are you so pushy?
Sorry, it's about to die, and who knows if we'll actually get this the electricity or whatever on. So
3% is plenty. And, like, as I
3%?
swipe the next screen, it goes down to 2%.
I'm coming. I'm almost there. I'm almost there. You're crawling.
Okay. All right.
I need
So
some
yeah,
nerd help.
it does look like the bullet has hit a. It doesn't look like the bullets damaged anything immediately vital to getting the power back on. But again, Caitlin, with that roll, I'll tell you that the power being out has nothing to do with the gunshot. However, where the bullet landed, it serendipitously has pointed you to the area of the ship where you can activate auxiliary power to maybe try to find out what the hell has happened with the vessel.
I'm going there.
I'm going to have you roll tech again.
Let's do it. Okay. I found a bunch of dice with like fun little analog numbers on
Caitlin,
them.
does your character sheet, and I don't know if it's saved properly, but you should actually have a bunch of equipment.
I have emergency food rations, electric multi-tool, utility knife, duct tape, tablet computer, fusion welder, and workwear.
Yep, you're set.
Sick.
Yeah, and at that point, you're starting to piece together that, maybe.
What maybe is happening here? Okay. All right. Tech.
Okay. Yeah, so go ahead and make a tech roll.
Okay, that is 19. It's a really good
19.
roll.
You pop that panel open easily. You see she sticks her hand inside the computer console and gets up to her elbow as she reaches inside the paneling itself. And after a few moments, the power in the entire flight deck flickers and goes. And you hear a voice just say, auxiliary power restored.
Oh, we got it. Okay.
You are amazing. What did you say your name was again?
Unclear. Do I have, can I pull out like, I'm gonna start looking at my stuff. I think the multi, she ends up looking at the multi.
You got your name on your.
It's like a label, like a label maker was like.
Yeah. But nobody takes your damn multi tool.
Yeah. Like all of her she has the tablet, the utility knife, the welder, and the multi tool all
meticulously labeled.
Have Logan on them. I said, Logan. My name is Logan.
Logan, you give me really strong engineer vibes. Do you feel like
I'm also
does Logan have rough hands? Like do wires and stuff
feeling very strongly. Engineer also. I'll take it. That's more than I knew 5 minutes ago. This is great. Okay.
No, this is good. What made you remember? What has made everybody remember?
Looking around? Accidentally, kind of. I didn't do anything on purpose, so I can't really take credit for that.
And if I look around, what is Brayden up to?
Brayden's focus is on the flight chair that they left because it's alive again.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Yeah. That's the first thing you would have noticed, Brayden, is the power comes back on. The display comes back on, begins to track. You see system is booting up, and you see what look like external scopes are coming back online.
Okay. Sorry, it's just been bothering me. And now the lights are on, so I can accomplish it just a little bit more. The fact that the knife broke off seemingly means there's other bits of knife floating around, and now I could conceivably see it. It's been bothering me. It's been bothering Brayden. It's been bothering Sam. There's a sharp floating about.
There's somewhere in this flight deck, there is indeed the other half of a knife.
Now that there are lights up, can we maybe see the other half of the knife?
Sure. Yeah, I would say the other half of the knife. It looks like it's actually been cleverly. It looks like the person that attacked Arpia has. Is it Apria? Is that how you pronounce it?
Arpia.
Arpia. It looks like the person who attacked Arpia had this knife on their person and died while they were holding it. So when you look around for it, you do see that kind of drifting underneath that person's stomach as they're just kind of drifting in the air is what looks like the knife is just kind of collected underneath his belly. It's just kind of gently resting there.
Who's closest at the moment?
That would actually probably be Arpia.
Then I'll with the hilt of my knife just to grab Arpia's attention and point under the man for the underknife.
Oh, for the hilt? Oh.
Alyssa, I think you probably also instinctively grab Logan's attention. I think she immediately looks away, just like instinctively to you.
Yeah,
It's very much like you wrap something
Gross.
against a scuba tank underwater when you need to grab
Exactly.
attention, like a carabiner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think she looks and is like, oh, not me. Okay, and goes back.
Yeah.
Okay. You want the handle? And she's going to like lean over and grab the rest of the blade.
Once it's in a
It looks like
hand, Brayden relaxes a little bit. It's clear this is about just obtaining and not leaving things floating around. It seems like level of order in zero grav
Oh.
is something they're aware of. Having things floating they don't like. They are staying secure to a wall. They're making sure other people are secure to walls. When things are floating, they don't like it.
Okay.
Arpia just kind of like takes the handle and like puts it in a strap on her armor. And
Looks like a very simple combat knife of some kind. That its blade has been neatly snapped off, just like about 1.5 inches of the tip of the blade has just been completely snapped off.
Zelda is still over with the two strange looking deaths.
Mm-hmm.
And do I find anything if I search their pockets or their persons?
Any ID on them?
No ID. No, you don't see any ID. You do find at least 2 more combat knives on both of them, and one of them looks like they also had a pistol that a gun very similar to Adriana's that had not been drawn yet. It is what looks like it's hidden in the back of their jacket, and there's a full clip of ammo that hasn't been used.
I'd like to take all that and
there is also a transmitter. One of them has a transmitter on them.
Oh,
like
I'll
a
take that
receiver or
too.
transmitter.
Is
of some
it
kind of device.
active?
Okay.
Yeah, is it power?
Not that you,
Okay.
not that you can tell. I mean, it might be one of those things where you have to flip it on, but it looks like some kind of radio.
I'll be like, "Hey, tech girl," and I'll toss the radio to Logan.
Just comes flipping through the air. You grab it.
Wall.
Just-
Grab wall.
yeah.
And then I look down at the weapons in my hands and I say, you with the armor. What was your name? Arpia?
oh, I don't think
She hit it. So
I
she
hit
doesn't-
it.
No,
Yeah,
you
she-
didn't.
I
Sorry,
just
never
really
mind.
like while everyone's
Rewind.
like doing stuff.
I didn't say that.
oh,
Yeah,
and
you.
she, like,
But armor girl.
If you say you with
Or
the
gunner
armor,
as-
though,
You with the
Yeah.
armor?
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's 2 of us wearing armor at least.
Are you
I've
wearing
got a
armor
little
too?
bit of armor on, just a little bit.
Huh?
Sam
Okay,
was
you
calling
two.
her gunner.
You two with the armor. You take care of these, please.
I'll take it.
And I will.
And Arpia just like
Yeah, I'll bring them halfway to you. Not gonna
Okay.
throw the weapons.
grabs them and like
Okay.
straps them on.
All right.
Okay. I was just tossed the transmitter. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Mhm. You've got this
That was
small
Can I
little
ask-
device that looks like a communication.
Can I see
We
what's
have
up with
power
that?
now.
Yeah, what's up with
It can
this
be
guy?
activated.
I don't know if I want to do that.
Mm-mm.
Ooh.
Brayden will look 1, 2, 3, and they'll look down toward the rest of the ship.
Oh, there was the whole. Yeah, someone was headed down. Oh, okay.
You
Yeah.
have remember you do have computer access now too.
Oh, yeah, we can check out the
All right.
Yeah.
The main computer, the flight deck computer, is online right now.
Are
along with
we
navigational data
booted
and
now? I
everything.
know we were. I was honestly like looking for the knife while we were booting up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Some time to warm up.
Main power is offline, but the computer is on. So you have basic information about the ship and an immediate scope of around the ship available to you.
Logan, looks like you have a tablet. It's kind of similar to mine. Let's download the ship information and see what we can use.
Good. Yes, good. Do I have a charge?
Can you share some of your battery life?
Do I have a charge?
Oh, do you have a charge?
Yeah,
I don't know.
sorry.
Yes.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And it does also probably say Logan on it in a split. And a little printer on the back.
What's the percentage? Sorry, timeline.
Ooh.
The percentage on your
Logan's.
data pad,
On Logan's.
it's
yeah.
about 5%.
Oh, okay.
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 Oh,
little tiny
my
charge.
gosh.
Tiny
Okay.
charge. I don't have much to share.
Oh, okay. That's fine. You know what? I'm just gonna. Mine will be emergency only. Let's use yours. We need blueprints.
Is there like a docking like
Life science.
we're tablets. We slot them into charge them. Is that like a thing? Have I noticed anything like that looks like these attached to?
Not here.
Not
but
here.
The flight
Okay.
deck. The flight.
I
Yeah,
mean,
the
it's
flight deck
not
computer
really.
is.
Yeah.
Not the
Yeah.
place.
Is the flight? Is the computer up? Yeah, we said it was booting. Has it fully woken up yet?
No, it's up.
Oh,
It's
it is. Oh, it is up.
displaying
That's right.
data
That's
all over
right.
the
That's
screens
right.
right now.
How close am I to my braided friend from where I am up in the chairs?
I'd say probably about 15 feet. You're
Okay.
on the other side of the flight deck. It's an
And
easy
then-
push to get over to them.
Yeah, I'm gonna get over there and kind of
Just drift across the flight deck.
Yeah, grab. Thank
Okay.
you.
I'll hook you in and toward the chair
Yeah,
so
and we'll
that
sit.
we're looking together.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. You were strapped in here. So, did anything look familiar?
They shake their head, then they lean back, they close their eyes, and they reach for some inputs.
You watch as Brayden, just with their eyes closed, begins to activate flight controls, navigational systems, and basically loads up diagnostic systems as well as external sensors. All of it popping up and displaying information. You immediately, Logan, you can immediately see information popping up on the screen. The ship you are on is a 218 meter long ship called the Vera Rubin.
Okay. Nice.
It looks like she is currently listing in an uncontrolled spin to port. All main power has been knocked offline. The computer has recorded an anomalous event. You also see the computer has recorded an unauthorized access in airlock 4, where it looks like the hull was breached. There's a few logs that have damaged data, but as it's coming back up, you're beginning to piece together. Then you stop. You and Brayden both freeze because you look at each other at the same moment where you notice it. There is another ship out there, about 300 meters to starboard. You both kind of crane and look out the window, and you see a debris field and a ship that is also spinning gently to port. All power looks like it's off on board the vessel.
Okay.
The vessel's about 2/3 the size of the Vera, and looks a little bit more. Doesn't look quite as advanced. Looks a little bit more like a Junkard, but it still has that sort of long aerodynamic look with pods that look like they've been built into the hull itself. But it looks like it too is without power.
Okay. I guess we can deal with that for now. Okay.
You're also seeing a couple of other stats are coming up on the screen too, just to give you some more data because it's all flooding in right now. As I said, all major systems are completely knocked offline. It looks like the main reactor has been shut down. And Caitlin, I'm going to have Logan make another tech check real quick upon sight of that.
Yes. Let's do it. Okay. Oh, that's an 11.
An 11?
Yeah.
You have no idea what could have knocked the power off like this. And there's no data popping up at the computer that indicates what's going on.
I don't know.
It looks like auxiliary power is barely functioning. Life support is pretty much the only thing that is running at full power right now, thankfully.
Okay, that's good.
That's one of the most guarded systems on the ship, and you know that.
Good.
So that much you remember.
Do I need to take another void point for that? For the family?
Yeah, that's correct. Take another void point.
While we're sitting here, I do want to I'll lean over and I'm kind of looking at everything, and then she's like, oh, and looks over at the friend. Have you remembered your name or anything? Have you found it in here anywhere?
You're muted.
Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
Brayden looks around, and by sheer instinct, they look under the dead guy trying to look for the floating patch. The floating patch has not yet yielded.
Okay, that's okay.
But
Brayden, you are going to notice something, though.
Hmm?
There was just one more piece of information to give on the flight computer.
Yeah.
And that is the fuel situation.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now, all of y'all, remember I gave you a ship sheet?
Yeah.
Okay, so everyone, if you will refer to the
I've
Vera
been
Rubin
looking at
ship sheet,
that.
yeah, you will see that it says fuel maximum is 6. If you would put that at 2, and
Not kind.
if you would, the maximum condition of the vessel is 5. Please make that 4.
Oh,
Okay.
What's curious about this, Brayden, to you, is you know your way around the flight stick, you know your way around the flight controls naturally. But 2 things happen here as you're kind of sifting through. First of all, you notice that the ship comes equipped with 2 additional interesting additives to the vessel that you just don't know how you know this. But the Vera, she's special. Looks like she's got some additional technology built into her. First of all, she has what looks like an updated and accurate galactic navigational system. Now, you're not entirely sure why that strikes you as impressive as hell, but it does. Like, it's something that makes her somewhat unique and also vital to what it is you do. You just don't know what that is. But the other thing that strikes you too when you're looking at this is there is cargo in the back of this vessel. There are 3 cargo containers. And the moment you see that there is cargo listed in the manifest, you instinctively quickly reach out to make sure they're okay. For whatever reason, you don't know why, but your instincts tell you to double check them and make sure they're all right. All 3 containers are fine. They're secure in the back of the cargo bay and have not sustained any damage from what you've seen. And that's when you notice that there is a hole in the top of your wrist. You look at your hand, and it looks like there is a divot at the top of your wrist, that like a groove that digs down low, and something sharp pointing out to the top. Like almost like if there was like a tiny little missile or something sticking out of your wrist at the top. You're just kind of looking at it for a moment.
I'm gonna pull the sleeve of my jacket up a little bit.
As you pull the sleeve of your jacket up, you start noticing something different. And Logan, you notice this too. There are looks like sections of articulation built into all of Brayden's limbs, where the elbow is up to the shoulder, little like grooves of articulation, like they were crafted.
Oh.
You're kind of looking at your arm for a second, and you just see it everywhere, along the elbow line, along your wrist, along your fingers. You didn't notice them before. They're very subtle, but easy to spot once you look for them.
Yeah. Cool.
Brayden looks to Logan, looks to the cargo, and looks to the floating ship and the red bands.
Yeah, I think so too. So we should probably figure out what we're carrying then. That is a target? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Can I schematics? Can we find ship schematics in the main
You
computer?
can indeed. You bring up
let's
the
do it.
schematics of the Vera Rubin, and they pop up on the hologram display right in front of all of you. And you see the vessel that I have pasted onto the character sheet there. You see it rotate around. Looks like the Vera Rubin is designed to be some kind of deep space traveling vessel of some kind.
Okay.
Meant for long distance. It looks like it has technology that you, Brayden, you're like, that's our bridging drive. you see this large piece of machinery in the back built into the engines. Essentially, your FTL. As you're glancing at it, like, huh.
Of course, because we're in the dark. Dark would be death if we didn't have an FTL.
Yeah.
There's also an unusual deployment system as well. There's some kind of deployment system built into the back of the vessel that is meant for the cargo specifically.
Oh.
It's compatible with the cargo. It looks like an aft torpedo bay, almost. But the ship is large. It has the command center core, which is where you are all located. You see there are crew quarters. There's actually 2 more quarters that are currently empty. There is a mess hall that is fully stocked with food, and you also notice that there is an area for cryostasis for the crew. There are cryopods located in this vessel. 2 of them look highly unique and are separated from the other lot of them, a total of 6 cryopods. And I'm sorry, 7 cryopods. 7 cryopods, 7 crew quarters. However, the manifest is only showing 5.
As we're like looking at the schematics of the ship, Logan's just gonna kind of announce things that we're like, we're
telling everybody what you're
deep
seeing.
Space travelers. Probably we have cargo and like just like. I
would love to check out the cargo at the mention of the cargo. Like I don't think I'm as reserved as Brayden is when it comes to launching yourself like a projectile from wall to wall. I'm soft-bodied, so when I hit like hard objects, it's not as bad. And I would like to slam into the cargo and take a peek.
Okay, so you're gonna head to the back of the ship.
It's a big ship. Got wild ways to go. Can we try to find out if there's a way to like re-enable gravity controls?
Main power.
Bold of you to assume we have them.
It's main power. That's true. Okay.
How do we activate?
Yep, there's artificial gravity controls.
Okay, I need to get to main power then.
And as you're getting ready to head to main power, there is a flickering of light on that transceiver. And all of a sudden, that you were holding, as you guys are like, okay, we need to head main power, and you just see this flickering of light.
Here. Hey, come in. I haven't heard back from you guys in a while. What's going on over there? Do you read me? What's going on over there? We've lost all power. Do you read?
And we're going to stop right there for our break.
Cool. Oh, man.
We'll be back in 10 minutes, y'all.
Woo.
It occurs to me that because this game is throwing everyone into the fire, as it were, that we don't actually have a title. It probably won't be revealed until the end of the episode, I suspect.
Fair.
But as of right now, I can say welcome back to Death in Space with the Streampunks. Let's go ahead and jump back into our game. When we last left off, y'all had heard a mysterious broadcast from the strange vessel to your starboard side, calling out for help and seeing if anybody was still alive. And the message, it seems like every now and then it just loops back and you hear,
"Is anyone alive over there?
Wait.
Anybody? We've lost power over here. I can see a vessel just off the port window. Hello?"
Arpia's gonna launch herself over to who's holding the radio? Was it Logan?
Yeah.
Launch herself over to Logan and just kind of rip.
Yeah, you do.
And she's going to just like yell in there, "Identify yourself. Who is this?"
There's a momentary delay, and then you hear,
I honestly don't know how to answer that. Who is this?
And Arpia just kind of like doesn't respond to the person. Just, I guess they've lost their memories too. Sorry. Just hands it back to Logan.
May I bring up the nav? The interstellar nav right now?
Yeah. So it expands out in front of you. And all of you finally get a good look at where you are. Your ship is located somewhere, as you might say, in the black, as it were, between star systems. You are currently located in what has been classified as the M4 globular cluster, also known as the Scorpius constellation.
Oh.
You're approximately 9 light years from a station that is marked as Scorpius Station. The computer also has what looks like a history of your travel from that station to this point. You guys have been, it looks like you departed Scorpius Station a little over a month ago. You've made 2 jumps in that time. In that time, you've had no interactions with any other vessels. When you reached what looks like was supposed to be your final destination, according to the flight plan on the nav computer, you were ambushed from the looks of it, because the computer logs that an unknown vessel with no registry immediately popped up on scopes. And the nav computer doesn't give too much more information beyond that, but the rest of the computer, the diagnostics, and what looks like some of the data that you can find on here indicates that indeed you were all essentially while you had come to a stop for whatever reason, the ship had reached a full stop and was ambushed by these unknowns. They breached the airlock rather abruptly. Y'all didn't, from the looks of it, didn't have a lot of time to react. And then curiously, the computer logs an anomaly.
That. Are there environmental hazards about the M4 globular cluster or anything else known about this space?
Yes, the M4 globular cluster is rife with novas, and it is, from what we today know of science, the globular cluster is known for being a particular patch of space that is rife with singularities and novas. A place of a lot of white dwarfs out here in the globular cluster, in particular. And that information, as it's coming up, stirs something in all of you that's familiar somehow. Like, none of this comes off as a surprise to any of you.
I would like to continue towards the cargo. To make it narratively convenient, I could infer a lot of that information on my tablet. But I want to know what's in that cargo, especially if this place feels okay.
The cargo space definitely feels okay. When you push yourself down this long hallway to get to the back of the cargo bay, first of all, you're getting a significant appreciation for the sheer size of the ship. The ship itself looks like it is designed for long distance and constant travel. It also looks like it's been used quite a lot. So as I described when I was giving the aesthetic look to Caitlin when we went live, it looks very much like the Nostromo. It has that same feel. Adriana is just so happy right now. But it looks very much like the Nostromo. It looks like a lot of the technology around here is very analog looking. It looks like the tech, and even as you pass by the room that has the cryo sleeping pod area, very similar in the way it looks. It all very has that sort of, like, again, this sort of late 70s retro sci-fi feel. But in this case, just kind of looks more analog. And as you're moving down the hall, as you're moving past some computer systems that are logged into the wall and whatnot, but curiously, the ship is very simplistically built. In fact, there is just a main corridor that is kind of the main vein of the ship that connects to everything. And as you move past the mess hall area is actually quite comfortable and lovely. As you pass through it, you see there is a table in here. It's currently floating, but there is what looks like a very large kitchen table in here. There's what looks like fruit, which you immediately know to be synthetically grown. That is kind of like hovering in the air. There's food stores that are all locked up. You can see a coffee maker that is currently lodged into the wall that has been locked down. There are blankets that are just floating in the air and pillows near what looks like a seating area for people to relax, and books and data tablets are just like floating through the air. You just kind of like have to swat one out of the way as you move through.
I need to close the door. Like, do I have to go through the mess hall or can I secure this area?
You have to go through the mess hall.
Ugh. This is a death waiting to happen.
Yeah, hopefully don't pull any hygiene maneuvers and nobody will get a fruit to the face. But so
it worked out for Isaac Newton, okay?
He had gravity.
Past the mess hall, you pass by the crew quarters. And at this point, I think at this point, Nail, you start detecting a very calming, familiar sound. You begin to detect what sounds like an engine in idle mode. It's just this low kind of emanating from the back. It's not on. As you move towards the rear of the ship, you enter into what looks like a 3-storied catwalked area, and you see the great expansive technological wall that is the great engine in front of you. The engine runs on chemical fuel. It's not one of these amazingly awesome Mass Effect drives or anything like that. It looks like it's much more, it's a little more of a fusion between chemical and high-tech sci-fi sort of FTL style jumping. The
it's as
engine
analog
itself,
as possible.
Yeah, about as it can get. What you can definitely tell as you move over to the computer console that's set up in here on the catwalk is that the reason why this ship is so large is because the FTL takes up most of the ship. You get a sense that the crew quarters and everything that you all have just moved through is all about a third of the actual ship, and the rest of it is the engines that let this thing fly into deep space.
I love it.
So as you move over to the console itself, you can see that the engines are indeed offline. Everything, for all main power is down, and the ship is running on auxiliary. Life support is the only thing working right now, although you can see that some power is currently being drawn through an override into the flight deck.
Okay. With my tablet, can I communicate to, I don't know, Logan, who has a similar, or Brayden at the main computer, even if it's just the navigational side of it?
Possibly, yeah. You should be able to. I mean, you can connect through comms, yeah.
This is Nail speaking. Your shipmate. Can I get Logan down here? I think I need your eyes. We've got a situation that could use some mechanical assistance.
Okay, I would love, just after I get tossed back the communicator, and they're like asking, like they're like, I don't know how to answer that question, and then we get Nail on the, on the communicator, like, I turned to the one that was the unknown voice. Someone will be with you shortly, and then we'll let go, and then we'll start to go try to figure out where Nail is.
Brayden takes hold of the communicator.
I did not give it to I just let it go. Like, it is just
hanging
out.
Well, I mean, they hate floating things, so they're gonna grab it.
Okay, I'm not going anywhere.
Not my expertise that I'm gone, you know.
I'll grab it.
I will actually, before I go, I'll be like, you good? To my friend in the pilot seat.
They'll kick back into the seat a little and put their legs up into what is clearly a well-worn groove.
Yeah. Okay.
There is, by the way, there is, just so you all know, the ship's manifest is fully available.
That's true.
On the flight deck.
Maybe while I'm waiting for Logan to come by, I've started to scroll through that manifest. Tell me, what do I see?
Yeah, well, you would see the basic profile of all members of the vessel. There is no designated captain of the vessel, but all of you are listed as crew members of this particular vessel, the Vera Rubin. And you're getting an idea of what this is, which is good because it kind of helps answer the question, Nail, specifically as to what the hell is in the cargo. You do see Zelda's character. You see her profile pop up. She is what you notice as you're flipping through the profiles is everyone's role is kind of, they have specialties, but it's not necessarily their role. Everyone is just kind of listed as crew person. And go. Looks like Zelda has a particular specialty in medicine and knows how to patch people back together. Doesn't look like she's had any formal training. It looks like technically her area of expertise was astrophysics. and it looks like she's learned over time how to become a pretty skilled ship medic. Logan is absolutely a specialist in engineering and specializes in maintaining the FTL drives and is kind of the grease monkey of the ship and is what everyone refers to when something is wrong or something breaks and is keeping things
calling
flying.
them down felt familiar.
It was
You do see Arpia's name. Arpia is the master of arms and is what looks like she's being designated to be a protector of the crew and somebody who manages the weapons locker. She also looks like she's relatively new to the manifest. Like she joined a little bit later than everybody else. So there may be a story there, you're not sure, but she's one of the newest members of the crew. Judging from what you can see, you've all served together for a little over 2 years now. The last person, of course, you see is Brayden, whose name is actually...
Would you be cool if I had hash error question mark in all instances of Brayden's name? Thank you.
Yeah. Perfectly acceptable considering that there is a lot of data corruption from whatever anomaly hit the ship.
Corrupted files.
But you see that what it does say is that Brayden is in fact a synthetic AI and is designated as the ship's pilot.
Huh. Okay. 2 years. Yeah, that's fine. What the heck is my position?
You were just listed. Nails, you're like, what am I? You just scroll down and it just says crewman. There's no specialty. There's no nothing. It just has you listed as like crewman number 4.
There's gotta be info settings.
You keep flipping through.
Properties.
According to the file, you have a general skill set and you fill in the gaps as you're just flipping through. You have no specialties designation.
Oh, that's a secret assassin.
They feel a little crushed.
Gotta be something. Looks like according to the ship's logs, it looks like you're the one that's frequently doing the spacewalking when needed. And you typically are going out into the hull and doing any kind of external repairs as required on the vessel. But you are essentially ship's hand, basically.
The daredevil. You're the daredevil.
Yeah. If people are too nervous to actually, too nervous to suit up and walk, and pull an Amos and walk along the deck of the ship on the outside and fix things up, that's you.
Okay, you know what? I think I'm the brave one. That's probably me. That's definitely my angle. I think I see Logan.
There's a couple of things here that are really interesting, though. That's also flagged, because where you would also see that Brayden is what appears to be an AI, a synthetic AI. You also note that both Eliza,
Zelda,
Zelda's character, so Zelda and looks like Zelda and Logan both are something called soul pods.
What?
SOLPOD. They are not
info on that.
Soul pod, as you bring it up, the definition pops up. Soul pod, crew member that was part of the original Scorpius mission over 200 years ago.
What? Okay.
Soul pod mission members are some of them are cryogenically frozen, and many of them even have memories of Earth.
Ooh.
Many of them who have been revived out here are now operating in space. You also see a bunch of references to something called a nav jockey.
I definitely hit info on that one. Nav jockey? What kind of
nav jockey? As you bring it up, nav jockey, it immediately begins to. You see the information as it begins to flood in. Nav jockey is essentially, it says, a person who bridges to previously uncharted regions in space in order to chart safe passage by deploying navigational markers for future travelers.
Okay, that is really
And
cool.
you notice under keywords, each one of you is listed as a nav jockey.
Oh,
Hey, that's cool. That's really cool.
It's apparently slang. It's slang that caught on and became the title.
It's our official job descriptor, and it's kind of cool.
You also see there is a few interesting things too about. Let's see. Yeah, looks like Zelda's file has her listed as one of the original mission team members of Project Scorpius. So probably it looks like Logan was probably one of the initial, maybe not the first generation, but the second generation of team members of Project Scorpius. She had an official, she even for her young age, it looks like she was a NASA astronaut.
Wait, which one?
And was an engineer for NASA. You.
Wow.
Logan. Yeah. You were originally an astronaut for NASA and was part of the original Scorpius mission. Same with Zelda. But you, Nails, it looks like you're looking at your file and you're seeing
What am I?
Oh, buddy.
You apparently were born out here on Scorpius Station.
Oh,
and what's curious about your file, as you're reading into it, you see you were genetically altered.
Whoa!
It shows genetic modifications to help you adapt to space.
Okay, so I'm not really courageous. I'm just good at walking in space. Huh.
Looks like you have an increased density to your bones. It looks like you're a little bit more. Looks like you're a little bit tougher than the standard person.
Huh. Thought I was just soft. Okay, this is good. This is good. Anything about our Arpia? Because we don't know a whole lot about. Like, I would infer that, like, I figured like that is. Okay, the terrifying, intimidating person with the knife stuck through them. I need to know for my own mental and physical safety a little bit more about her.
Arpia is apparently as the Master's Arms, also grew up on Scorpia Station. Apparently, when she was very much younger, father was considered one of the top security experts for the station. And other than that, it looks like she graduated from the schools on Scorpia Station and at Scorpius Colony, which apparently Scorpia Station orbits, and nothing standing out, but it decided to become a nav jockey and serves as a master of arms. It looks like Arpia enlisted in the crew because from whatever you're being able to gather, it looks like Scorpia Station has started requiring master at arms to serve on board any ships that are dropping nav buoys. And you see, it looks like it's flagged increase New Dawn activity.
Is that anything I could expand? Increase New Dawn activity.
You expand it, and it says New Dawn, gives a definition of New Dawn as an offshoot of colonists. It originally started about 60 years ago when supplies began to run. Before the creation of Scorpius Colony, there was supply shortages and riots that were taking place on Scorpius Station due to the events following what is known as the Little Bang. And it led to an offshoot of colonists essentially trying to murder the command staff and take over the station. When they were expelled from the station afterwards, they established their own small fleet and have kind of lived out on the edges and have preyed upon anybody who is trying to build a life out here. The New Dawn is basically, they're thought of as criminals and pirates. And they particularly play on any merchant ships or merchant ships, I should say, resource ships like miners that are mining asteroids, and nav jockeys are their favorites because, as it shows here, nav buoys are some of the most advanced pieces of tech that the colony has.
There it is.
And you're carrying 3 of them in your cargo hold. Apparently, they load into a very special device that you have built onto the back of the Vera called the nav buoy launcher. In fact, it starts piecing together. Yeah.
Two things.
Yeah.
First and foremost, if I could like export that information.
Send it.
Even the yeah. Send it to everybody individually, and
Y'all are getting a
to the
flood
computer to be broadcast. Okay. I want to confirm that these New Dawn folks, historically, are they known for wearing a red armband?
That's an affirmative.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna wait till my friend gets here.
Probably like almost there if you spend time reading all this stuff.
Yeah.
She probably gets there like as you're like finishing. You hear like, and she like gets around the corner. It's like, how did you get down here so fast?
Logan, you are not. Oh wow, you're sweaty. You are not gonna believe this. I mean, you will because you're gonna remember, but also, and I'll flip like the hollow, like the visuals over, and just kind of like word vomit.
No.
The past 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
I've sent it to everybody else. I think this should reconstruct some things. I still don't feel like I remember everyone, but this information, this is good.
Yes. Right. Yeah. Good. Right. Good.
Yeah. We need power.
We need power bad. Let's do that. Will you help me? Let's see what we can do. Okay. And
yeah. Turns out I'm help. I felt like I was more like maybe like captain or like commander, admiral, but yeah, I'm help. I'll help.
Okay. And she's gonna go and grab some chairs and stuff and start moving back towards the FTL drives, which
okay.
Gets excited.
Oh, this feels like home. It's your baby girl's waiting for you as you move over to the engine controls. Go ahead and do me a favor and make a tech check.
Okay. Can Nail help me? Like, is that, or do I like? Is that not like a?
Yeah, I'll allow an assist.
Okay. What does that do? Is there a mechanic for that, or is that just?
You roll with advantage.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, put me to work.
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
I got tough bones.
It's a very simple system.
Yeah.
Yep.
We got a big FTL drive. Oh man. Oh, shoot, that was good. Anyways, let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, that was 21.
21.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Y'all are sitting there, and all of a sudden, the lights in the ship go. Everything begins to come online as the FTL drive begins to spin up, the bridge drive, I should say, as it goes. You see glowing coming out in this hiss as this like ventilation begins to take place, filling it. The scent of the ventilation as the engine comes online smells a bit like hot pavement after a quick cold rain. It just kind of fills the room. For the rest of you, it just kind of Sam, for you, it would taste like almost like without the like burny sensation of like mildew, but it does have like that deep moisture kind of like taste into the back of your mouth is what it would kind of.
Isn't real though, right? This is not like the fire.
No, you can you can smell when rain drops on hot pavement, it has a scent that comes up, and it usually is like
it's horrible. I hate that
love
smell.
it. I love that smell.
You all
I kind of like that.
It also sometimes smells like earthworms because they come up from the ground.
It smells like soil to me. I think it smells like soil. I like it.
I have fond memories of it because in Texas, the pavement is always blistering hot, and when it would rain, I started associating the scent with summertime.
Yeah,
so,
that's
like,
like
every time
it's a summer smell.
Same with Arizona.
Sam's mind is blown right now.
It's so it never stops to just be weird to me. That doesn't seem like a thing that's real.
If you've
that
ever
can't really be like a thing that has a distinct smell. No, they've all heard of it. Okay.
I would say this is such an odd pull, but if you've ever licked a rock.
Oh, that's a pretty good way of putting it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's like different. There's a whole thing about geologists,
like gravel, like a gravel or like a granite. Yeah. If you've licked it, but give it a cool, like this is so weird, but the essence of how a cucumber feels, that fresh bit, not the taste, but the fresh bit of a cucumber. If you licked a rock, that's how I would describe it.
Caitlin, you're better at this than I am.
I'm gonna meditate on that.
Rain smell.
Yeah, the drive comes online. you hear the calamitous clatter of gravity being reinstated rather abruptly.
Oh no! I fall on my butt very hard.
Everybody hits the deck, from the corpses to the tables to the fruit. Everything just.
Oh, it's noisy.
It's like that scene in Star Trek 6 where all the bodies just hit the floor and all the blood just splatters everywhere. Spoilers. Yep. So gravity comes back online. The lights come back online. Main computer comes back online. Everything is. Computer completely starts to reboot navigational systems. And you see a confirmation of what you were seeing up in the flight deck. Fuel is down to 2. Now, I want to point something out. And this is probably creeping into all of you, from Epria to Zelda to all of you. Arpia, you probably have started to notice this most of all. But the truth is, even after learning all of this information that you sense is familiar, you don't remember any of it.
So frustrating.
It's all familiar and you're learning the information, but you don't remember any of this. It's not coming flooding back to you. It's like reading somebody else's personnel file and it matches you. It sounds right, I guess, because of how you think and look and what you're doing, but memory is still not there.
What happened to us?
Zelda is still on the flight deck, right? With the other 2
picking
folks.
yourself up off the ground.
Yeah.
Are creepy.
Yeah.
Okay. Zelda, after doing a self check after that fall, is everyone all right?
When you check yourself, Zelda, you notice black veins on the inside of your sleeve as you kind of check to make sure you spot them, and you look. It almost looks like somebody just took beautiful black ink and just tattooed your skin. It just runs right up your forearm.
Okay. Do I have my med kit on me? Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
I'd like to pull that out and see if I can. What is in there?
You see what looks like a. Let me pull up your character sheet. It just says med kit. You see what looks like a small bioscanner.
Oh, great.
Some patches too. There's a small bioscanner. It looks like there's a couple of patches. There's this gel, apparently, that you spray out over wounds and it causes artificial skin to grow immediately. There's also a couple of patch kits. Some of them are for more serious wounds, and some of them are actually for space suits. So it looks like an emergency kit of some kind. Yeah.
Great. I take the bioscanner.
Bioscanner. Okay. As you run it across your arm, all of your biosigns read perfectly fine until you scan over that black spot, which, by the way, as you pull it up, it almost looks like a starburst pattern. It doesn't look symmetrical at all. It looks more like lightning bolts coming out of a center point. Veins, essentially, like black veins spread across your forearm in a fashion like that. Like someone just threw a paintball at you and it splattered and veined all over your arm. When your scanner comes across that, nothing registers.
Huh.
Like,
and
the scanner goes dead. And then when it goes back to your arm, it starts up again. Like, I don't mean it doesn't pick up data, Zelda. I mean the scanner almost deactivates.
Holy crap.
And then it just reboots as you scan up your arm again.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm not saying this out loud because, again, I don't want to alarm people more than I need to, but I'm just thinking, how much time? And I look at myself in the veins on the 2 bodies that I saw, and how much time do I think I have until I become like them?
Let's make a tech check.
Okay. Not good. That's only 7 total.
Do it with advantage because you just used your. I'm going to say you used your device here. You've got a bunch of the evidence, so roll one more time.
Oh, the same roll.
Here's what you get. There's not enough evidence to suggest that it's spreading. There's not enough evidence to suggest it's not spreading. There's just nothing conclusive.
Holy crap! I can't scan it. That freaks me out.
But I will say that the veins that you spotted on the corpses looked like it was all over their body.
Right. Okay.
It looked like it was all over.
And it's just on my arm as far as I can
Looks
see.
like it's, kind of pull up your shirt and peck your legs, and you don't see any other marks on your body.
Okay. I would like to, I'm going to look in the med kit for some type of like what's it called? Hand sanny.
Oh,
Hand sanitizer.
Yes, but not that.
Okay.
Disinfectant.
Sure enough.
Yeah, okay, you got it.
Yeah.
Ah.
Easy enough. You pull out a disinfectant and just.
Yeah, I'm gonna disinfect the bioscanner, and then with like as gently and without touching it again, I'm gonna float it over to Arpia and say, "Hey, can you scan yourself, please? Like ASAP. I need some data. And also, don't come over here. Don't get any closer to me.
What?
Don't worry, it's okay. Everything's fine. Just scan yourself right now, please."
She's holding this object and she has no idea how to use it.
Okay, press that button. No, turn it.
Like
Yeah,
this?
yeah. Now go to the top of that and press that button.
Okay.
Put it on your skin anywhere.
Okay.
Anywhere. Yeah.
All right. Sorry, I'm not used to doing this. What's going on? And are you okay too? Or
Everything's fine. What do you get on that scanner?
let's see.
As soon as it passes over your hip, it deactivates.
No. Do I see that?
Yeah, it just shuts down. And as she pulls it away and looks at it, it goes, zzz, turns back on.
Oh no! Check what's on your hip. Can you just look? You don't have to. Maybe you should show me. Show me what's on your hip, please.
My hip?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Is so? I guess. What do I see on my hip?
Pull your shirt up, and then you don't see anything at the pant line, so you kind of pull it down a little far. And as you look down, there is a terrifying looking black starburst vein pattern all across the left hip area. It is spread just about down about halfway mid part of your thigh. It looks like something just spattered across your hip and just veined out. It looks like it looks as dark as a tattoo. Like it's complete jet black on the surface of the skin, almost as a gloss to it.
The confused nature has left Arpia, and now she is just. What is this? What is this?
Okay. So my theories are that either they brought it.
I don't want theories. What the hell is this stuff?
Okay, I'm trying to tell you. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is.
Everyone
I think they
else has to
either
check
infected
themselves.
us with something, or that whatever happened that made us all lose our memories also did this thing. In fact, I think it might be that more than anything, actually.
I'm just laughing because I'm picturing the camera between the two of you, and it gets focus on Brayden, who's been listening to this from like 10 feet away and is going like
I'm guessing. I don't know if I would. I assumed Zelda now knows because I got the pad too, and I would have also wanted to check the crew manifest. By the way, that's something I would have wanted to do.
So Zelda, I would tell you right now that Brayden is in fact a synthetic. However, it is an AI inside an organic body. They are an AI. The body is. It looks like the body was synthetically made, but it is in fact organic.
Brayden, can you please self-check? Just check your body right now. Actually, maybe take the scanner. No, actually, don't pass anything yet. If it is infectious, yeah, Brayden, can you just self-assess, please? Look around. Just look under your clothes and stuff.
You pull your sleeves up. You don't see anything. You pull your shirt up. You don't see anything. Brayden turns around. As Brayden turns around, you see on Brayden's back looks like black veins sticking out just for a brief second as Brayden pulls their shirt back down and pulls their pant leg up.
God damn it. Oh, God. Take the iPad, send a message to the others, voice.
Okay.
I will vocally transmit to the others and say, can you check your bodies for black veiny things? I think we're all infected with something. Over and out.
Ew, what? Gross.
Infected?
Oh,
Black veiny things? Ah!
We'll look.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Y'all search. You're checking yourselves real quick. Logan, as you kind of looking around, you pull your pant leg up, and sure enough, on your knee,
Oh God.
it looks like there is that spattered sort of vein starburst that kind of breaks out all across your knee. Nail, it's right just below, like a middle part of your chest, just above the stomach to the left side on your rib cage.
I don't think this is. What is it? Does it feel weird if I poke it?
No.
It's not like raised or
feels
anything.
fine.
No.
No, it feels fine.
Not a fan of that.
No.
No.
We turn like the communication on really quickly, like at like speakerphone. Should we be concerned?
I think the answer to that is probably yes.
Yes.
But just to clarify, right? Yeah, we're concerned.
Yes, we should be concerned.
Okay.
The attackers, the boarders, I should say, with the red bands, they had a more advanced form of this, like way more advanced form of this.
So did they give it to us, or was this part of whatever? Well, I guess we probably don't know anything.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet, but I'm working on it.
Brayden will look to Arpia and the transmitter that we had heard a very living person from this ship talk out of.
Yeah.
And then back to the very not that with the infection all over their body folk, which I could go out on a black veined limb and say perhaps Zelda's not hiding as ardently from us as previous.
Yeah. I also have probably, now that gravity's opened up again,
doing its thing.
I think I was like trying to hide the bodies with my body and like always block someone's vision, and now I'm like opening that up.
Okay.
So yeah, they will look to those for context.
Okay.
I point to the transmitter too. Do you think we should ask them to check
themselves for this mysterious stuff on their body?
Yeah.
What if they're the ones who infected us?
Well, they might not remember that either. They seem to have lost their memories too.
Someone else talk to them. I don't even want to deal with this. And Arpia like walks over and like hands it to Brayden. I don't know what's happening.
Brayden makes a gesture that Sam won't show on twitch.tv.
And Zelda will also come over.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Though I think, is this a chi charging world or is this a cabling world? Because I think Brayden's next instinct would actually be to see if they can hook this up to something that does an AAC, like a text-to-speech or other, like, can I hook this up to an access tool? It would not be surprising to me that the pilot has some sort of AAC for this kind of stuff.
So you want to hook the transmitter up to
the mains computer so that I could use a text-to-speech if need. Like, they did hand this off to me.
Oh, it's easy enough to network that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm assuming that was a thing. So I guess, Brayden does have it since they've been handed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Zelda, did you look like you wanted to try to talk to them before I did that? Like while I'm casting around in the back?
Captain.
I'm just coming over to join the potential conversation. So do as you will, and I will chime in if I need to.
I mean, I look to your doctor's coat. Like, you do kind of seem to.
Then I will take the transmitter or hold my hand out for it.
You'll take it? All right.
Okay.
Who is the captain here?
I don't know. Something on your mind, braid person?
Yeah. I want to pull up airlock 4, the breach on our mains. Look at those guys sort of touch my back. Look over at their ship.
I thought maybe they had brought it over and infected us too. No?
I look back to the ship and how it's rolling and listless.
Right.
Do I see a hull breach on them maybe?
I'm gonna say, there's a lot of. So it's funny because so much of this game right now is just existing in investigation mode.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a lot of tech rolls, but here we might actually be entering into the savvy territory. So go ahead and make a savvy roll for me.
Okay, is it a heterosexual roll, or do I have advantage or disadvantage?
No advantage or disadvantage.
Okay. Nah, brah. It's spinning too fast. That's a big ol' 6.
What you get is that right now, even though the computers are all back up online and power is being restored to all systems, there's been whatever fluctuation or whatever happened to the ship, whatever this anomaly it is that the ship logged, seems to have caused the computers to glitch, as it were. You're not getting as detailed readings from their vessel as you thought you might. And looking out the window yields nothing. They're over 300 meters away and it's pitch black out there. You'll occasionally catch a glint of their hull in the starlight, and you can see thousands of pieces of debris just moving outside of the ship.
Zelda says, "Well, while you're chewing on that, let me try this." And I take the transmitter, press whatever thing it is to talk, and I say, "Person on the other end, can you check your body for a splotch mark, black, and let me know if you find anything. Over and out."
Yeah, copy that. I'll check. 1 sec.
Okay. Oh, while you're doing that, can you also tell me how many people are on your ship?
Why?
Because we are trying to figure out what happened here. We all are very confused. There's only a few of us. Over and out.
Andrew, doctor.
Copy that. Yeah. Well, I haven't run into anybody else but me. I've been looking around. Power's down. I've no gravity on over here. I see ship's logs here, and I can see one of our skiffs outside the port window right now, but it looks like it's in pieces. Looks like our docking bay's been damaged too. I'm not sure what's going on over there. I don't know what's happening here.
Yeah, same here. Did you find anything on your body?
Oh yeah, sorry, I was answering your question. Let me give me 1 second. I'll check. Should I be worried? Is there something you know Oh my God! What the hell is this? What is this?
And there it is.
There's this sting on my chest. Holy shit! This isn't right. This isn't what it's. It's not coming off. What is it? What does it mean? What does this mean?
We don't know. We all have it too. That's about as far as we got. And I look over at the dead bodies.
Yeah, the dead bodies, again, they don't look like they have a splotch. It looks like they are covered. Like just below the neckline, they are just completely covered in this sort of glossy darkness.
Was the person who was who stabbed and was shot by Arpia, do they have any splotch?
No. They are unmarked. They don't have anything. Their body is not showing anything.
I look over at Braid person. I'm not going to transmit back right now. I look to the pilot and say, so no marks, little marks, big marks. I don't get it.
First,
came in. Second. Oh, they were outside when it happened. Oh no. Second one fired and fell and died, was shot. Third one exploded.
And I point over at the ship, far away.
Uh-huh. Oh, the third thing that happened. Both.
And I point at the lights.
Yeah, we lost power. Uh-huh. Because of an explosion on our back.
So
your back.
And I point to your wrist.
Yeah.
I point to them.
Mm-hmm.
I point back to that guy.
So whatever knocked out the power also gave us this.
But point to the dead guy.
Not that guy. Wait. I go over to the guy who was shot.
Okay.
Is he human?
Mm-hmm. Yep, he's human.
If I run my bioscanner on him, what do I pick up anything abnormal?
Presents as male, is roughly 41 years of age. Looks like there was some substantial genetic modification, probably indicating that he was designed to withstand the rigors of space travel and to make him a little more efficient at it, which is not unusual. How you know that, you don't know. And it looks like cause of death was a single gunshot wound through the heart.
Mm-hmm.
Can we come back up if there's no more FTL to fix? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Just so we can
You
all
guys
be on
walk
the
to
same page.
You guys step over the books and fruit that have fallen in the mess hall. The table is overturned.
Disaster. Grab an apple.
If you want to have come in time to have seen my monologue, Caitlin.
Yeah.
If I'm getting your vibe.
Sure.
So like
100%.
if you repeat maybe, like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so shot guy was dead before whatever the explosion was. Maybe? Because
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, the explosion, whatever, he might have died before whatever exploded and gave the rest of us the veins, the illness, whatever. I don't want to call it an illness in case it's not that.
Mm-hmm. So then why are these two so much more affected than we are?
Because
I think it's going to get worse. I pull out, I have a handheld material analyzer. I think I have something that could, this, definitely handheld. And I'm going to analyze the splotch.
Your equipment immediately shuts off the moment you start scanning it. It goes,
What?
Yeah, that's what happened to my bioscanner too. It'll turn back on. Just move it away from the spot.
Oh.
Did it turn back on?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Activates.
Question, Eric.
Mhm.
The shape of all of these bursts, like, are they similar? If we compare them, are they like, if you shattered several windshields, everyone would be different, or are they like similar in shape?
Make a savvy check.
Oh, I can't do that. Hold on, here we go.
I believe you.
Oh boy, this is another -2 for me. So 4 minus 2. 2. I have no
That's
idea.
going to be a 2. Gain a void point. Are you maxed out?
No, not yet, but I'm close. You just stop asking to do things. Okay. Nope.
So
I got
it's at
3
this
out of 4.
stage- It's at this stage I'm going to tell you all that you are now free to spend your void points. Your void points allow you to spend to gain advantage on any single roll, but there is risk.
Oh, okay. Do we get to know the risk?
Yeah, what is the risk?
It's so much better if we don't know. I'm not even asking.
That's fair.
You haven't spent a void point yet.
That's true. Okay.
I'm gonna pull up those schematics for airlock 4
and start moving up. I think, given that Braden's working theory is that this potential infection might have been transmitted during whatever event happened, they want to ascertain whether this was an induced breach from the pirates or whether this is an artifact of the explosion, which could have been the vector of the veiny boy.
So you want to find out if the breach. Wait, so I'm sorry, run that by me again. You want to find out if the breach was caused by the pirates?
Was caused by the pirates or by the explosion that took us out?
No, looks like the pirates put a charge on the outside of that door and blew it open. Then they attached the thing that this guy is calling the skiff. It looks like what it is a really shoddy looking personnel carrier that literally just transports. It looks like it has thrusters on board, and it looks like it seats like 6 people. And there were 3 on board this when they kind of rocketed over and breached the interior of the hab. Then they locked it on board, and you see them enter. And they override the controls just as they enter the ship. You see vacuum, and then for a second it's gone as they invade the vessel and cause an artificial airlock. They erect an artificial airlock. It looks like they put up this thing over the thing and
like a force,
sort of like this. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Okay.
Activate it so
like
to keep them in.
Yeah.
I love
And
that
then
too.
you keep watching as they enter the ship. Some of the cam footage that is actually available, you see them storm into the ship. They look quite tactical. They're all armed. One of them doesn't have a gun. One of them looks like he's just got a combat knife out, and he's leading the way, and he's just kind of pointing him back. And then they disagree on something, and they point towards the front. And at about this point, you can see yourselves all rushing towards the front of the ship, trying to barricade it in. You see Arpia is getting towards the door. You see her loading the thing, cocking the gun back and aiming at the front at the door. You see Logan is trying to get the hatch shut. And then you see a shift in everybody's demeanor, and everybody's attention turns towards the front of the ship. Just as these guys with the red bands come charging in. It's enough where they come charging in time. 2 of them don't pay any attention to you. They also point. One of them doesn't do anything, but just kind of braces. One of them hurls himself at Arpia as she has her head slightly turned. The moment he impacts on top of her, she leans back and puts a gun underneath him, and then the whole footage goes to static.
What is the exact time between when we notice something out the window and when the static happens? Speed of light could give us distance.
Yeah, it looks like time was probably 3 to 3.8 seconds around that time. So whatever happened, it came up on you guys really fast. It was either moving really fast or it was undetectable until it was on top of you. Whatever it was. The other thing is worth noting is the timestamps on the footage. This was 4 days ago.
What?
Yo, your batteries on your tablets are excellent.
Not only that, but it's... And when y'all notice the timestamps, it's like that thing where the adrenaline wears off and all of you begin to realize how you're feeling. When you see the timestamp, it gives name to the famish, the exhaustion.
So
I'm gonna feeling it.
I kind of point at my knee. There's 4 days of this, theoretically. Yeah, give or take. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have Zelda make a roll real quick, make a tech roll, and give yourself advantage on this.
Okay. Ooh, 19.
Yeah. 4 days of unconsciousness.
21.
So 4 days of unconsciousness and 0G should have fucked you all up seriously. Y'all should be in terrible shape right now.
Yeah.
Why you're not? Y'all feel like a little bit of exhaustion setting in, and there's definitely hunger and thirst, but
maybe a little wobbly from having been in 0G for so long and then standing.
Yeah. Other than that, it doesn't. It feels like you just kind of slept in.
So I share that with the group. I say we should not be doing as well as we are right now. which makes me think, we're alive, they're dead. So maybe just us being alive is what's keeping these things from becoming that thing.
I'm really starting to believe that theory.
So I don't want anyone to freak out, but
I'm too tired for that.
I'm not.
Parasites?
I can't check it. It doesn't hurt to poke it. I tried to pick at it. Nothing really happened.
Brayden will take out their combat knife. Sorry, their utility knife. They don't have a combat knife. And squat down over one of the bodies, then look up to Zelda. And just sort of like poise it over the veins.
Let's look. Yeah.
They will make a incision without surgical precision because they ain't that. They're a pilot.
Gotta have dexterity for that, though.
I will spare you the details as you drag the blade over the skin and right over the mark. The skin cuts and blood does flow. And as you pull the knife away, at first you don't notice it. Zelda, you definitely notice it. But as Brayden pulls their knife away, the blood kind of trickles out just a little bit because they've been dead. You just see a little bit of blood kind of sputter out. But what's particularly noticeable is the blade of Brayden's knife is completely ruined. As they pull the knife away, the edge looks like it has been just raked against a rock for days. It's just dulled. It is basically rounded out, almost like it doesn't even look like it's been burned away or acidically eaten. It just looks like it has eroded.
Question. When the second that the thing cut out, we went to static. How were these 3 borders placed?
Right where you found them.
So would it have? I just mean like would the one who ran to grab at Arpia have been maybe directly in front of the other 2?
Yes.
So if this blood is corrosive and a bullet fired through the back of it, possibly splattering the 2 behind it, and the blood was floating around.
Well, what you notice is the blood is it's dripped onto the deck. It doesn't seem to be having any effect.
Okay, so maybe not that then.
Right. And I'll look to the transmitter and to myself.
It's blinking.
That guy's.
All right.
I'm also gonna go over and put on. Are there like gloves in the med kit and things to patch up a wound? Okay, then I will do a little bit more of an inspection, very carefully, trying not to touch the blood, which I know is going to be hard. Squeeze to see if there's anything in the wound that pops out. Does anything come out? Is there anything in there besides blood?
You squeeze against the arm. Here's what does happen is as you do, and some of the blood oozes out. First of all, it's old blood. At this point, the body's been done.
It's coagulated.
You do notice, it's gross. As it oozes out, you do notice that as it touches the deck, it doesn't seem to have any effect. It just looks like blood.
And the knife is dull now?
The knife looks like it is. You could just run that along you, and it wouldn't cut a thing anymore. It looks like it is completely dulled.
Okay, I'm gonna patch up the wound
noticeable
so that no more blood comes some seeping out or anything. And I turn to the rest of the.
Make a tech check, please.
Okay.
We are all like, I'm hovering over you, watching your moves. Like,
that's a 3 plus 2, 5.
Okay.
You could re-roll.
Oh yes, I'm gonna use my thingy.
With
you spend a void point.
Yeah.
Then roll again.
Come on. Over 12.
Come on, Boyd.
Yeah, 15 plus 7. I mean, 15 plus 2, 17. Wow, my brain is weird tonight, y'all. It's real weird.
Okay, 1 sec.
I've been memorizing lines for the musical all day.
Aw,
My
you're
brain
doing
is
marvelous
fried.
here.
All of you see her eyes turn black.
Crap.
All of you see that inky darkness
Did.
that is on the skin. You
Did.
see it spread and cover her eyes completely for a moment as she focuses.
Oh.
And you are trying to patch up that wound. And what you're noticing, you just focus hard on it for a second. And as you begin to focus on it, Zelda, you notice that the wound itself is, you're getting tunnel vision as you're looking at it. And then the world around you just seems to take on almost like you are, if you can imagine seeing waves of heat, like Predator almost, except for instead of the spectrum of heat, you're seeing it in these vibrant purples and dark blues and blacks just emanating from the arm, particularly in the place where that black spot is spread out across the arm. And the adhesive for the patch that you're putting on will not stick to that spot on the arm. It will not stick. It simply does not function. And when you pull it away, the patch itself looks like it's completely eroded. Like it's like a Band-Aid that's been left out for months and no longer has adhesive. As you try to stretch it over that part of the skin, it just simply doesn't work. And instantly you feel a familiarity as you gaze into this, because as you're seeing all these spectrums of different colors of light emanating around you and these purples and blacks, to which, by the way, just to you seems completely natural. Nothing unusual about this. It doesn't elicit any kind of like response or anything. Instead, it feels like you're slipping into a warm blanket of comfort, like you've been here before. The dark spot on his arm is black on black patch of just nothingness. It's not like gazing at somebody who's thrown a cloth over your head and you can see them through that sackcloth. It's not like you're looking at a black slice of construction paper. You're looking at the absence of everything. And when you blink out of it and turn and look at everybody else, you are all watching as her eyes, the blackness bleeds away from her eyes. And you see your crew staring back at you with mouth agape. No one is saying a word. I think that's our button.
Panic.
Eric, this was
Oh,
so cool.
A one shot.
Oh.
That was awesome.
The shock
God.
of the crew.
So good.
Yeah, there's no way it's a one shot. When we started getting close to the break time, I'm like, no, this is a 3-parter probably. Is my thought. Like gauging how much is being uncovered and how much is being revealed and how much about your character play is happening. I'm like, this is a 3-parter is what I suspect. That's what I'm thinking.
Much.
Yeah,
Oh,
there is
such a bummer. We have to play together again.
Oh, darn.
Oh no, more story to do. Oh.
We have the edgy pilot, the curious medic, and the terrifying gunner. And then dorky Logan and useful Nail. So, like, I think this is a good team, and I can't wait for more.
Wait, go back to the part where I'm edgy.
You really just screamed that, you know?
I love that.
Whispered. It was
Out
silent.
of curiosity, what did y'all think of the system so far? It's pretty
I'm
straightforward.
so
huh?
excited.
Engaging, like in a stressful way, and I really like that.
Yeah,
Yes.
what I liked about this, this is published by Free League. This is an independent project that was done published through Free League, and one of the things that drew me to it immediately is there is more dynamics to this. There's a whole crafting system. There's a whole repair system. There's a whole combat system. Obviously, there's ship to ship combat, the whole bit. But it all is predicated on a very simplistic, very sort of PBTA-esque delivery system for cause and effect based off of character skill and whatnot and leveling up. And I'm curious to explore it more. So thank you for allowing me to have tonight to do this playtest for Death in Space. And
I love this.
I'm officially calling this game Nav Jockeys episode session 0.
Nav Jockeys.
Nice.
So good.
Can I add that at the end?
Yeah.
That moment when I looked up at you all and you all were like, what? Doing all your things. I'm like, what?
And then just like the hard black cut credits. No music,
just
no
executive
nothing.
producer comes up. Yep.
That's where the title comes in.
Yeah.
You see the title for the
Producer.
first time.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, this
It reminds me
so
of a
hard.
great moment in Buffy season 4 where Buffy's like, so what is she? What is glory? And he just goes, a god. And Buffy just goes, oh, and it just cuts to black. No sound, no nothing. It was so good. So good. Y'all, thank you so much for jumping in tonight, Caitlin and Bezelda. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
So happy to be
you know,
here.
I was really sad that we didn't get to do Changeling tonight, but what happens in these moments, it's like forgetting your line on stage as an actor. Those moments, while terrifying, can be such a gift because a moment of authenticity is inevitably going to come out if you stay committed to what's happening on stage. And just like tonight, like throwing yourselves into, I don't know what we're doing, let's just do it. And we got a hell of a game out of it. A hell of a mystery developed. So we'll definitely do this as I won't put a limit on what we do with. Let's see what we do with this. But we'll definitely be playing this again because we'll pick up where we left off the next time we play it. Yeah, we gotta. We have to, because I let Eliza be an astrophysicist doctor from NASA from 200 years ago. There's no way she's gonna not let me.
You should see my notes. At that moment, everything was caps. I was like, oh my god.
So many notes,
Yeah. Thank you all, family, so much for showing up tonight and giving us your time and joining us for this story. We will definitely see the Nav Jockeys again. This is not going to be the last time. Until then, I think there's no really hailing frequency, so I'm just going to say this is how we're going to log out.
Okay, so now what? You guys haven't told me what to do yet. Hello?
Credits.